I don't think we'll see the Bills Winter Soldier uniforms anymore.
No, we won't.
Right?
Yeah.
And you guys liked those before that game?
Who?
The Bills uniforms last night?
No.
I didn't like them that much.
No.
I acted like I liked them when I was talking to Deion Dawkins earlier in the week, but I didn't love them.
I don't like a lot of jerseys. I think a lot of people like nowadays. I'm realizing that more and more weekly.
Well, guys, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Long. This is my esteemed colleague, Dr. Fax. That's Nolan.
What's up?
That's Cowboy Reed. We got Beau, the Butter King, somewhere out there. I don't see him right now, but he's out there.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. I just see a black screen. Oh, no, there you are. Now
Hello.
you just popped up. There he is.
I'm a ghost. I was haunting you, Chris.
Good morning, buddy.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm pretty good, man. That was a wild day. That was a wild day. I mean, like, here's kind of what we're going to do today. We're going to start with Sunday Night Football. We're going to talk about the international game. We're going to talk about the drunkest NFL game I've ever seen. So drunk it was college football.
Hemingway's whiskey.
That's it. We're going to call it the Hemingway game. It is basically an award we're going to give to a team, a football game going forward every Sunday, hopefully. And that's basically what it is, the drunkest game. Nolan suggested calling it the Hunter S. Thompson game, but I think that's even more highbrow.
There's more than booze going on there.
And there's more than booze going on with Hunter S. Thompson.
The Hunter S.
Maybe we'll
Thompson
get
game is
one
when the
that's
Bills play in the
crazy.
snow.
It'll be a Hunter-esque game, you know?
Yeah.
One that's, I don't know how we can beat that game, but
Yeah, that was wild. And then we're going to go best of the first PMs, that's Broncos Birds. Best of the 4 PMs, that's Bucs Hawks, which was probably the best game of the day. Unless you like defense, Sunday night was pretty fun. And then you've got the 2 ugly AFC losses, and we'll get to the flyovers. AFC losses, that's going to be the, not that we're not going to talk about Houston, but the Baltimore loss was just hideous. And the Chargers loss was hideous as well, with the Commanders kind of getting on track and looking like that football team last year that we were like, man, they're going to take that step. So we'll get to the flyovers at the end of the show. Dudes, let's start with last night. That had a little bit of everything, including the fact that the over was alive. If they went to OT, there was I didn't want to say it out loud when we were watching. I mean, that's a ball game that was 3-3 for like a fucking hour. But the over was alive. Like, had it gone to OT, we could have gotten a field goal and then a touchdown to win it, and the over would have hit. It took a while for these quarterbacks to get warmed up, but the second half, things opened up, and it was a lot of fun. And I said coming into the game, this is going to be a matchup we're going to see for years to come. Like, a lot of fun. And Drake Maye did his best Josh Allen impression at times late in that game. And what was so impressive to me was early in the game, and Collinsworth pointed this out, if I had one big critique, it was that, like, hey, he's going to take some sacks. Like, he puts his head down. He might give up on a play a little bit early in the spirit of staying safe. But as the game went on and the moment demanded it, he made big plays. That was huge. I just say this before I open it up. Everybody's paying attention to the quarterbacks, and you're like, oh, damn, Josh now has to contend with Drake Maye. And that's what you got to contend with, twice a year in the AFC East. I thought the biggest takeaway coming out of this game is Josh has to contend with Mike Vrabel defenses. And he's not calling the defenses, I get it. But the personality of that team and the hits that they put on Josh, they were hunting him.
Yep.
They were absolutely hunting him. And you might feel like a couple things were on the line or just over the line. But I got to tell you, if I were a defensive lineman and I was, a group that was 6 deep trying to hunt this big game trophy that is Josh Allen, I would be hunting as well in the same way. And we would all be trying to finish him through the echo of the whistle, burping him if need be. And that's the way they played. And at times it was on the edge, but and it got in Josh's head. At one point he had to pull his face mask up, and he told us, I forget, it was one of the backers that came by and gave him a kiss late in the down. That was a little bit borderline, but there was a drive in the third quarter that I thought Josh was going to die, dude. It was 11 minutes to go in the third. I think Durden hit him and he started adjusting his jaw.
Yeah.
And then, the farmer late hit happened. He got smacked. kept going, actually ripped a touchdown, into, I think it was Kincaid in the end zone.
I think there was like a sneak or some kind of QB run on that drive too.
He's laying on the ground like, fuck, dude. Like, he was hurting
Yeah,
last night. And so, Drake's great, and we'll talk about him. But I thought the physicality, and I should have known coming into the game, hand up, giving out that over, that's a Vrabel spot.
Right.
And if we watched Vrabel teams over the years muddy up games against teams that are better than his teams, they're usually lower scoring. They're usually very physical, and that's what that game was for much of it.
Yeah, and what they were able to do in that game that not many teams have been able to do against the Bills' offense is generate turnovers. I went back and looked at it because I couldn't remember a game where the Bills' offense turned the ball over like that. So Joe Brady took over in Week 11 of 2023. From that point through the first 4 weeks of the season, the Bills have the least amount of offensive turnovers in the league. They've only turned the ball over 19 times in there's like 28 regular season games in that span. So the Joe Brady era Bills, they don't make those kinds of mistakes. But, obviously one of them was self-inflicted, but they were able to take two off them defensively that gave the offense some more possession.
I think something was wrong with the balls, dude. Because it wasn't just – seriously, were they like we were saying, were they the kicking balls, or like did they not scuff them up enough, or like what the fuck happened out there? Because dudes were just dropping the football.
Yeah. Yeah, the one got away from Diggs, right? On a catch and run.
Got to get your grip strength up.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that was crazy. But what'd you think?
I think the big takeaway for me for this game is like, obviously it was the night game, so just got done watching Beau Nix and the Eagles. Is who's the best quarterback in that class, Chris? I feel like there's a lot of similarities between those two. They're both kind of gutsy, more mobile than you'd think, and you feel like they are, or at least yesterday, pretty smart, controlled, and like in command of their offenses. I'm wondering, like, I feel like you're kind of like Spider-Man memeing with those two. I feel like they're very similar.
They are two of the best white quarterbacks in that class. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, I know there was a big and I'm a Caleb fan, and I got that. And like, I know in today's world,
I love Caleb.
Yeah, I think we all like Caleb. And, we're on record this year of when even Chicago fans were telling me, including Big Cat, like week 1 after the Minnesota game, it's over. Like, I've seen enough of this kid. We fell for the okie doke. The script was too good. As the year's gone on, I think it's proven that if he can play on schedule, he's going to be a franchise quarterback in this league and make some special plays. But the thing we didn't get to see throughout much of the year, because of the injury the past couple weeks and the way they started out with Jaden Daniels at full strength and the way he looked yesterday, we'll get to that in a little bit. That whole quarterback class, to your point, Beau, is like, I mean, it could go down in history. I don't want to, the guys look the worst.
Yeah, exactly. It's exciting. I think it's fun to see. We're not really used to seeing the New England Patriots struggle, and I love Vrabel. I like New England despite not playing my best football there, Chris. And so it's kind of fun to see him get back on track with an exciting young quarterback. And then obviously, like, really cool to see Stephon Diggs go back to a place that he used to play and have, a marquee day like that. I feel like he's one of those guys he's always got something going on off the field too. So to actually like see him ball out on the field and just be like, oh yeah, this guy's a fucking baller, and he has been for 10 years or whatever. It's a little bit refreshing too. So I thought that was cool. I have a couple Bills fans that I was talking to who are freaking out about this loss. Kind of like what you guys said. I feel like it's pretty uncharacteristic of the Bills. Like those turnovers, Josh looked a little rattled. He looked kind of out of sync, and that's very atypical. I think this isn't, the sky is falling type loss. Sometimes you have these 4-0 teams and they lose a game and it's pure panic. I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about it if you're a Bills fan. I thought it was a pretty good game despite the sloppiness early, and like to see Drake Maye get going. He had that one throw at the end of the game where like defenders are hanging off of him. He's escaping. Like watching him roll out to his throwing arm, I was really impressed with his athleticism, and then just like distributing the ball in the move. That's one of those plays where like, okay, this guy might be really fucking good for a while. Like it was pretty exciting. I love the matchup. I don't think you could hear me earlier, but I was not a fan of the white unis, whatever the rivalry unis from Nike, but I did love the whiteout at stadium.
Cool.
I thought was really
and
cool.
Fred Jackson, he rocked the mic before the
Hell
game.
of a job.
It was a great atmosphere and like a big win for Drake Maye. I mean, like, I know the whole team won the game, and I alluded to that earlier. I think it's as much about Vrabel, but Drake Maye was great, dude. Like, what was he on the final drive? Like, I think he was perfect. I mean, the ball that he threw to Diggs tailing right down towards the pylon was amazing. So confirms what we have thought for a while about this kid is he's another one of those guys in that class is going to play for a long time.
So, hey,
and he's with Josh McDaniels.
So my Super Bowl pick not so crazy now, huh? Picking them go to the Super Bowl?
I mean, how much? Well, I mean,
now that people can see that they can beat the Bills?
The Jets beat the Bills.
That's everyone.
Max, are you uncooking a team? Are you uncooking a team for once? That's crazy.
I mean, like, do you want us to put the Pats in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I already put them there, but it's just that when I put them there, everyone's pushback was like, "You really think the Pats can beat the Bills twice in a season? Like, you're crazy. They're not even going to get out of the division." And looky here, everyone's Super Bowl favorite got knocked off, and now they're going to have to worry about when they play the Patriots again and how bad they're going to need that game.
It's a tough matchup. Here's what we said.
Super Bowl confetti.
I know.
One win from the Patriots. Bro, that's insane.
Okay, so if the and I hate arguing against the team that had a great win last night, but something as asinine as the way you've opened the show demands a little bit of logic here. The Pats who earned that win last night were great. They join a list of a couple teams over the last couple years that have been able to beat the Bills and muddy things up. I think the Jets beat the Bills. You remember when Aaron Rodgers got hurt and the Jets beat the Bills with a backup quarterback? Mm-hmm. Do you remember when the Texans beat the Bills last year? So, like, when we talk about, like, you know, being able to make a run, I do think they're a playoff team. That's all we need. And actually, for the record, I agreed with you on that. But I do think, and I said this coming to the game, they're going to play the Bills better than they're going to play the other teams.
Yeah, I feel you.
And so they're always going to be a thorn in their side. And that when you talk about winning the division year after year and that being a foregone conclusion for the Bills, in that sense, I agree with you in that, like, hey, they're here to stay.
Yeah, and I like honestly, like, they didn't play that well on defense, like, at all. And Vrabel talked about it during the game. If you watch that game back, they've missed a lot of tackles. Like, yes, people miss a lot of tackles on Josh Allen, but it's something where, just like you talked about earlier, they had an emphasis on they were going to be hitting and putting hits on Josh Allen to wear him down so that necessarily, like the game did, when it gets down to the end of the game, maybe he'll be like a step slower. And I just feel like if they'd have made some of the tackles that they missed, the game wouldn't have been as close as it was.
Yeah, maybe. I think, you know, McDermott's assessment of the game afterwards was we got too cute. And, you know, I don't know if
Didn't
it was
use cook enough. But, like, I think that's a testament to, like, they were stopping the run.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do something else.
Yeah. No, getting Christian Gonzalez back is huge for that defense. Mm-hmm. It's huge for that defense. When you're looking at them weeks 1 and 2, that's not a total look at what they're going to look like. And we said it after the Steelers game. They drove the ball up and down the field on that team. And you know what I love about Josh McDaniel is the way he called the game throughout the game was, hey, take what they give you. We're not going to turn the ball. When I end up turning the ball over because the ball had like Vaseline on it. But like when you watch the Pats, they don't ask him to do too much until it's time to do a lot.
Right.
And when it was time to do a lot, he did a lot. You know, he did his Josh Allen impression. You know, and Stephon Diggs, man, you made this point earlier, Nate. You were talking to him up. Like, for all the diva wide receivers in the NFL, like quote unquote divas, he's my kind of diva. He always has been. Yeah. Because I think like where he's coming from, and maybe this is because I've been around him a couple times, and I think he's really like he shows a lot of class. Like when you're around him, like he shows you respect. He's a cool guy. So that might be bleeding into my assessment of him. But also hearing former teammates talk about him, like they all love him. And, you know, the guys in Houston really liked him. I know Minnesota didn't end perfectly. I know Buffalo didn't end perfectly. But, like, you heard guys talk about him, like Deion Dawkins talk about him last week. He plays with a lot of fire. And last night, that was a big night for him. You can kind of tell start to finish. You know, that I love wide receivers. They opened the game with an interview of Diggs, and he was like, "My personal development is second to none." And then he got out there.
Maturation.
My maturation is second to none. And I was like, "What does that even mean?" And then he gets out on the field, and he gets like an 8-yard gain, and he crawls like a dog. Like I'm like, bro, he's just my kind of guy. Like there's something off with him. But he really cares about his teammates, and he's trying to be a leader late in his career, dude. I really like the guy, dude. And he played his ass off last night. He played his fucking ass off.
Bro, I love it. And he's on my fantasy football team. He got me 22 points, so I was happy about that. But, yeah, to piggyback off everything you said, he's a great player. And it's okay to be a diva if, like, you're going out there and, like, you're playing hard all the time. Like, he doesn't give up.
His ass off.
He's not trying to give up, like, on his team. Even if he is mad, like, I just feel like it's one of those things where, just like you said, it's the right way to kind of maybe be a diva.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that they got him going. And, like, the past few weeks, maybe, like, he wasn't getting the best stats. But for a young quarterback, I think that's good to get probably the best guy in the wide receiver room, get him going. And it just seems like Drake Maye has a lot of confidence, and those guys are happy with what they got. And you can kind of see that. That gives you an extra spark when you're in the locker room and, like, you're, like, with the older guys or the vets, you're just like, hey, we might got one here. Like, we might got one with this quarterback, with this young guy. It's going to be exciting.
Think about all the positives. They draft a franchise quarterback, we think.
Yep.
They draft a franchise left tackle. I think Will Campbell's going to be a very good player, very solid player in the league for a long time. What you have there is a 10-year starter. Okay, he might not be like a 7-time Pro Bowler, but the guy can fucking play.
Bro,
you can tell right off the bat, okay?
Yeah.
So you got those two things. You bring in Diggs. And here's the biggest thing. When you talk about culture, and then I want to move on because we spent all day on this thing. By the way, Mike Vrabel, you saw it show up in the way that the team plays. But look, I'll give you two examples. Stevenson, who's had a lot of problems fumbling the football. At the end of the game, he was talking to Melissa Stark, and it looked like he just wanted to get home. He was so relieved to just get out of there with a win. Like, his life flashed before his eyes on that fumble. But what did Vrabel do? He went back to him. You know, and that to me is a sign of a coach that's like, hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity. And that coach is the guy you want to run through a wall for. Like, you know, it would have been easy to bench him. Maybe not, because at certain points of the game you lose Antonio Gibson and Travion Henderson. They play him so little it feels like they don't like him.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it's a factor of Travion Henderson hasn't been his favorite guy. But giving Stevenson another chance and scoring a couple touchdowns in that game, that's great. The other thing is Stephon Diggs. We joke about my maturation second to none and all that shit, but it sounds like from the outside looking in, like he has really found a home where Mike Vrabel says, hey, I'm going to coach you hard. You know, I heard that in the broadcast last night. We're going to coach you hard. Are you ready for it? He's like, yeah, I want to be coached hard. I want to be pushed. And that's the kind of relationship that a guy like that wants late in his career. Maybe he hasn't had that before, you know, with a head coach that wasn't intimidated by him.
Yeah.
I got one thing before we move on from talking about the Patriots and your Super Bowl pick facts. To your credit, like I was fucking with you earlier a little bit, but to your credit, when you look at the broader scope of the AFC, it's kind of weak right now, especially with the Ravens floundering, the Bengals, the Chiefs don't quite look like themselves yet, yada, yada, yada. And the Bills are quite clearly the class of the AFC. Like, we all kind of know that. Now, they dropped one yesterday. I think we all kind of feel that they're going to be all right towards the end of the year. Take a look at the Patriots schedule. Next couple games, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks. They got the Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills
Home field
again,
advantage,
Ravens,
Nate?
Jets, Dolphins. So they have a pretty favorable schedule going forward, and I think that they could be pretty good. Yeah, home field advantage, perhaps, Chris.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the road to the Super Bowl goes.
I mean,
through,
you
played
at home.
Yeah, I played at home in Foxborough.
And how is it? It's electric, isn't it?
It's electric. It's even more electric when you have Tom Brady playing quarterback.
But imagine if you have a young Drake Maye.
No, Drake May's the man. Hey, you hear no argument from me.
What are those little Patriot men all dressed up and ready to shoot?
The Minutemen, dude.
Woo!
Marty B used to love those guys, dude. Marty B used to love those guys. Fucking shooting fake guns in the end zone. So, anyways, that was wire to wire. We had the Sunday night game, which was maybe one of the best games of the day, if not the best. And then you had the international game, which came down to the final 30 seconds of the ball game. By the way, end of the game, Sean McDermott. I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't tell your kickoff return unit to let that ball hit the ground and roll into the end zone. It's a small thing to me, but when you have Josh Allen as your quarterback, if you have 15 seconds from the 20-yard line, I don't care if you have no timeouts, you might be able to get into field goal range.
They don't get it.
But I don't understand that.
I think every team now, like, they have to spend some money and you need to have like a analyst nerd like on the sideline for like real time.
Dude, I've outcoached a couple
Like-
head coaches in the NFL
Yeah.
so far this year. I mean, I outcoached Ben Johnson when he obviously there was a kickoff return at the end of the game,
Yeah,
and all they had to
Vikings
do
game.
was what it was a kick it out of bounds or
Yeah, just kick it out of
just
bounds.
kick it out of bounds. It's a 5-yard difference or whatever it is. He doesn't kick it out of bounds. Last night I'm screaming at Sean McDermott. Maybe I can coach in the NFL. Okay, international game. I just play a lot of Madden. International game. Wentz sacks Gabriel. All right, that's what
Nice.
this was, man. Carson Wentz, man, a little Wentz magic in London. That was awesome. Good for him, our boy.
Hey, Wentz, drop the Addy son.
What does that mean?
Jordan Addison.
Oh, I got it. Okay, got it.
Hey,
Got it.
speaking of Addison, like
For the
We
second,
were waiting on that one.
what that turnaround for him, right? Like he's not getting any snaps. He's getting benched as a coach's decision. Everyone's kind of like on X, like, what's going on? We're all in the group chat. Like
I knew exactly
He
what
missed it.
happened. He was late for something.
Yeah,
People were like, "What happened?" I'm like,
easy. Yup.
"Fucking
he went to ride the subway around, ride the
the
tube
tube."
around London, solo, and missed a couple walkthroughs. And then he's getting benched. It's a coach's decision. You know, worst feeling as a player. And then he catches the game winner, you know, like perfect ball, touchdown, game. Like what a 180 for him.
Dude, 3 hours is a long time in
It
the
is.
NFL. It
It
really
really
is,
is.
and like,
Really, life comes at you fast, bro.
and also like, the thing you have going for you is your presence on the offense is such a big deal.
Yes,
And like, yeah, we're gonna teach you a lesson, but like in crunch time.
we need you.
Now, there's some people complaining about the fact that like that's not on the injury report, it's not on any kind of report, and there's people,
Mad about
betting props and that sort of
fantasy.
thing.
Oh my god.
Well, get over it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
One of
just get over
But
it.
on the other hand-
Like there have been like coaches have been sitting players down without putting it on the injury report since Jesus.
Yeah, it
was a
happens in
baby.
the
So-
Super Bowl sometimes, Chris, when
Yeah.
you're on the other
Oh,
team.
yeah.
I know. Luckily, there's no Malcolm Butler props. But like people get over it. I mean, like the guy fucked up. He probably missed curfew. I don't know. He was late to a meeting or something.
Something I don't know.
It's as simple as that. But to make the game-winning play is awesome, and it's a little
Save-
poetry there in motion.
Saves himself. Probably. How long is that flight back to Minnesota from
Dude,
London?
his
Can
flight
you-
flipped
can you-
so much.
Can you imagine how you feel before that game, just being like, "Fuck," like I don't think I'm gonna get cut, but like this is gonna be a
You're
terrible.
definitely not
flight.
going to get cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a terrible flight home.
he's been changed,
and then if we end up losing this game, everyone's looking at me. We're on this flight for how many hours, and then
6 or 8,
and then
yeah.
I catch the game-winning touchdown, and I'm not even thinking about that anymore.
No, that's great. He might have damn skipped curfew after the game. I don't know if they flew home the next morning. I remember like London when we played there, and like after the game, I went twice. One time I decided not to go out because the flight was so early in the morning.
Yeah.
We got our ass kicked by the Patriots, so I stayed in, and I just chewed on a bunch of Lunestas to try to go to sleep because I was so like, and I
That's-
That's
and it was the worst. And then shoot, on the way out there, I chewed a Lunesta and I couldn't sleep because I can't sleep on planes. I spent the whole time talking to the flight attendants in the middle of the plane, like everybody else is snoring. The second one was awesome. We beat the Jags, and I'll never forget that one. We went out to like a nightclub and shit, and I was out there with, it was me, Alshon. Beau, were you with us that night? No, this is
No, that was
18.
2018.
This is 18.
Yeah.
Shit, man. You were there in spirit. But we stumbled home. It is sketchy to like go out in a foreign country. You just don't know the customs. You don't know which area is not a great area. So you gotta like these guys got to be careful out there. But the sketchiest part of this trip for the Vikings was obviously their offensive line, down 3 starters in this game.
Mm-hmm.
They had a center who never played center before in a game, and they played with timing. I thought Kevin O'Connell has done a great job of stabilizing the situation with Carson at quarterback.
Yeah.
Quick game. I didn't feel like Myles Garrett was around the ball. I mean, he's always around the ball, but in the way that he usually is in a game like this. And I think that speaks to a game plan where you're like, hey, we're going to throw a lot at this guy. The run game got going. They were creative in that way. And he got the ball out. So this was great, man. And Addison finishing the way you talk. On the Cleveland side of things,
They did good.
they really, there's a lot to build on there. And I know people are going to be enamored with the Gabriel Shador thing. The reason Gabriel's in the game is not only do I not know that one player is better than the other, at all. I don't know that. But the other thing is Gabriel's going to get the ball out of his hands. And right now that's what they want. Whether you like that or not. If you're a Browns fan, maybe you want a guy who's going to take some chances, pat the ball a little bit longer. But Gabriel's in there because Stefanski wants the ball out of his fucking hands. And the plan almost worked. That defense had Carson Wentz having to go the length of the field at the end of the game with the ball in his hand against that defense, and they beat him. I thought the game plan worked. I thought Gabriel was coached to burn the ball out of the end zone or into the first row if he didn't have something, and that's the way he played. Now, Judkins is a stud. Judkins, I was squinting because, I do this thing where I try to see with running backs, especially like who does the running back remind me of? And a lot of times we get enamored with the numbers, right? Like, a number on a player's back, it'll give you so much like confirmation bias that, but I don't think it's a number. He reminds me of a rich man's Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
Seriously. He runs not angry at the ground, disappointed in the ground. Watch Quinshon Judkins play, dude. He kind of reminds me of like a better Pacheco, the way he runs at least.
Yeah.
But that's a major plus to have a guy like that. It continues the trend of the Browns drafting players that they're going to get a lot of mileage out of Schlesinger, the Graham kid, Fannin. There's a whole bunch of them out there making plays. So good for them. Yeah. And one more thing, Malik Collins is a dog.
I was just about to say
he's trade bait, bro.
Bro, I literally was just about to say that.
Send him somewhere good.
I had to start a segment, my brother from another mother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Collins balling in the league right now.
Yeah. There is.
Malik.
A lot of Allen's balling in the league too. I'll get in on that with you.
Where's David Long Jr.? What's he up to these days?
Yeah. Hunter Long too.
Hunter Long,
right?
yeah.
Passes.
There was a kid named Chris Long at Rutgers. I don't know where he is now. I don't know if he's going to be in the NFL, but
there's a dude named Beau Allen who's a backup quarterback for Kentucky.
Oh yeah, we
really
Faxon the King. Yeah, we interviewed him.
Oh, that's cool. You did.
Like
Beau Allen.
Would be like, you need to get in there, and I'm like, yeah, they got to put me in. Yeah.
That's funny as shit.
You know where Chris Long, the wide receiver from Rutgers, is at now?
Where is he?
Montana State.
No way. He's in Bozeman.
Yeah.
How many Chris Longs are there out in Montana? I got to look my guy up.
He's using your aura out there.
We might be related. Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So, anyways, that was the and big win for the Vikings, man. Like, they're this team that I don't know how they're going to do it, but they seem to be kind of – and they miss Cashman. When they get Cashman back, the defense will be better. They're going to find a way to be in the hunt. As crazy as that sounds, I think it speaks to how great their coach is.
It's been fun. Sorry to interrupt you, Chris. I was just going to say defensively, they're a little banged up. But
they're banged up.
Fun to see some of their young guys come along, like Redmond. I'm kind of enamored with this dude right now. Wearing 61.
Yeah, he's
good. And then who's that other? Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, number 90. Like they kind of rotate like we used to in Philly, where they go like 4 in, 4 out, and those two play together, and it's like a little bit of a no name or a young, unheralded group. But I really like them, man. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they've got depth in the D line for sure.
Let me ask you this: Is it crazy? Is it crazy to say if the Browns can find a quarterback or an offensive solution?
No,
to put 2 touchdowns and a couple field goals up, that they'll be in every single game.
Yes,
with that defense,
they're in a lot of games right now.
Yeah, I know. It's like as a defensive player, like watching games like that and seeing the offense, and you just can't even like flip the field a lot of time.
No,
it's just like it gets frustrating.
But the offensive line needs to be in a place where you can onboard a young quarterback like that.
Yeah,
I mean, So, anyways,
that's one thing. I saw a stat about everyone's talking about Dylan Gabriel, and he's like 1 of 11 on passes that were 10 yards more, or 10 yards or more downfield. And like when you look at that, you're like, okay, maybe he's not good at throwing the deep ball. Maybe he has no touch. But when you really know ball like we do, Chris, it tells me like maybe he's not confident whatsoever in his offensive line, and he just doesn't have time to throw.
Or the
balls.
coach has instructed him, as we saw, how many of those balls, 10 yards down the field are kind of like burns. Where you're just like, hey, I'm going to put it on the sideline and, away from leverage, and, we'll see what happens. But, and I don't know that he's the solution. I don't think for the record, I don't think anybody in the building is a solution. That's not a shot. It's just, it just is what it is. I've been on a lot of Browns teams, guys. Seriously.
One more before we move on, Chris. What do you think about? Is there a budding, a developing quarterback controversy in Minnesota at all?
I
Carson
think there should be. I think there should be, honestly. Like, and that's not to say like I don't think JJ McCarthy could be the guy or anything like that. Like, if he's hurt or if he's playing behind an offensive line like the one he was playing behind the last time we saw him, like maybe he shouldn't be in the game yet. If your plan is to have him be your quarterback for 10 years, what is like a month of football if Carson Wentz, or, a couple months of football if Carson Wentz can do this thing? And just because Wentz he's still got it. Like the physical tools are there. I don't see, there was 17 Carson Wentz, and then the post-back surgery Carson Wentz was a little bit different. But he hasn't, like the Indianapolis guy who, in my opinion, didn't play great football. That guy physically is still there. He's got a better head coach now and a better offensive coordinator. So
they have this week,
and they've got Justin Jefferson and Mario Addison and T.J. Hawkinson and
This week, bye week, week 7, they play Philadelphia.
Oh wow!
So and Kevin O'Connell said he's
Wentz
not going
Bowl.
to rush McCarthy back. He's going to take his time. He's going to get at least a full week of practice.
Yeah.
So they have this.
I don't know why you would. I mean, if you're winning and you have the ability to kind of get JJ healthy, get him like comfortable, like, this is for all intents and purposes a rookie. You know what I mean? Who's been banged up. The O-line's banged up. I think that the Minnesota Vikings are a good organization, and like good organizations don't rush young players back when they're not being forced to. And I don't necessarily think they're being forced to.
And also,
Carson is a dog, dude. Like you talked about all his attributes, and like, that ball at the end of Addison was incredible. And I think we're all kind of pulling for Carson a bit just because of the personal connection that we have. But let's not forget how tough he is too. Like I feel like he like dislocated his left shoulder or whatever, and everyone was so worried about him, and he came right back and to lead the team on that drive after being abroad. They've been on a damn Euro tour for 2 weeks, finally coming home.
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. I think it speaks to the toughness of that team, but also Carson individually.
Good for him.
I think the reality there too for the Vikings looking at Wentz is the last game film we had on him was week 18 against the Broncos last year. He didn't look good, but he's clearly looked markedly better than the last time we saw him. And obviously they see him in practice every day, but you don't know for sure until the bullets are flying.
Yeah.
And he's gone out there and he's performed.
And
well,
I would say last week in Dublin, it was a hard thing to assess because it was like
No question.
It was like a jailbreak back there.
Yep.
Okay. So, anyways, we've got what do you got? Oh yeah. I do want to shout out our friends at BetMGM. Welcome to the Greenlight Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code Greenlight and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code Greenlight. Deposit at least $10 and place your wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets when using bonus code Greenlight at sign up. Then get access to second chance promos, odds boost tokens, same game parlays, BetMGM, original bets, and so much more. BetMGM, make it legendary.
Scary. And hey, why don't y'all reshare that shit? You guys got a couple links in your
do that
phone.
shit.
Hey, and you out there in the chat, reshare this.
Y'all
Send
do
this
me a
link.
favor when I'm hosting a show. Don't text me to share the link. You guys just fucking share it, please. I mean, I'm not an octopus.
Yes, Jeff. Shared it. Yes, coach.
Maybe somebody behind the machines could do it. Last week they were like, "Hey, and by the way, can you, when you're done with your 30-minute monologue, can you share this on a live show?" But all you guys out there, there's no excuse. We've moved to the Hemingway game, which is going to be.
Everyone's got to take a shot of rum quick.
Yeah, we really should drink for this game.
No more LeBron. Damn.
LeBron times Hennessy is empty.
We got Michael Jordan's tequila upstairs.
Oh, we should try that. Not today, though. Not today. Okay. Listen, I when I'm on the Stanford Stephen Macon show, it's kind of a bit that I rail against college football every week because I think the quality of play is actually very low. It's hard to keep track of the players. You know, it's kind of background noise for me, no disrespect, unless UVA's playing or have some money on a game like Duke Cal the other night. That was intense. the classic chase, go to sleep, wake up in the morning and check the score. But this was a college football game. in all the best ways. That's the thing I love about college football. It's not the quality of play. It's the drunk nature of the game. And these were professional athletes that forgot how to play professional football. So let's talk about Tennessee, Arizona. Can a coach get fired after a win? Because they won a game by throwing an interception in the red zone and allowing an 80-yard touchdown run. That's insane. I've never seen a game like that in my career as an analyst, not with 2 touchdowns like that and a fourth quarter deficit where you spot a team 15 points and they have to do that to let you back in the game. And here's the worst part. Tennessee is like the worst team in the league right now.
Yep.
Like you were wondering when they were going to get their first win. I do believe on Thursday I said this is a Tennessee spot. Watch them go win this game.
The Jets is technically the worst now.
If we had better marketing, huh?
I said Tennessee not anymore, they could say, because the Jets didn't win a game yet. So
no, the Jets are pretty. But, boy, do you remember when the Jets had a shootout with the Steelers?
Jesus, it feels – man.
I know. Everybody was like, oh, it's going to turn around and the whole thing. Jets are maybe worse. They definitely are worse. They're definitely worse. But I just like everything that happened in this game, Nolan. We went through it. Like
this is like a must-watch in a bad way. I mean, you mentioned the DeMercado play 7 days after the A.D. Mitchell thing. I mean, to do the same thing.
Guy doesn't watch football.
You had to see the tape. There's no way as a ball carrier in the NFL right now that you have not been in a meeting room since last year when Jonathan Taylor did this, that you have not seen that play and not to do this.
I knew your decibels would go up at this part of the show exactly.
Coach
Collins, what are you doing there?
Bro, I'm not putting my hands on my players. I don't like that on the sideline. I know it was kind of slapping the pads or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe you send another player to do that, but as a coach, you can't do that. You got to hold your emotions together. But that is fucking frustrating, and it's just like the only thing I can think I can blame it on. It's freaking TikTok culture, bro. It's TikTok culture. It's TikTok culture. You wanna be cool, but I don't even understand it. Like you want to be cool, you want to be seen, you want to
boomer alert.
You want to do exactly. You want to do something, but it's just like start doing celebrations with the football in your hand. Like I don't even know. Like it's just like, why do you want to drop the football?
Finish the drill.
You know what? It's a real.
I don't know the mental thing about it though. Like you want to what? You want to do hand motions so bad that you want to drop the football that quickly?
I don't know. I think it's just
he didn't even dance after it though. He went down to his knees and
he was.
Did he really?
The Cardinals fan was like dapping him up.
No
idea.
Yeah. I was looking at this social media chick for the Cardinals who was like right there, like getting a close up, and I was like, oh, you don't even know. You don't even know.
Snead is like signaling touchback.
Okay. Yeah, and then on the broadcast, they're like, "Yeah, that's a great job from Snead to punch that ball out." I'm just
he did not punch it out.
Did it?
This is it's just wild, dude. It's a wild. You know what's the wildest thing about it is?
Yeah,
wait.
Snead knows. Snead knows because he played in Kansas City. Right? He's a smart player.
This kid,
DeMercado.
Relatively.
Yeah.
So DeMercado has a great opportunity in this game and going forward this season, which is what makes it so confounding to me. Is like they have had injuries, namely the James Conner injury. They're down a couple guys at running back. Like this is your chance to really go out and you hit the hole and accelerate for a 70-yard run or whatever it was. Yeah. Bro, like this is the type of thing that changes your career. When Jonathan Taylor does this, like everybody's like, fuck, man, but like you're a Hall of Fame talent.
Next series.
So
exactly.
You know, like we'll like in the meeting room they go, John, John, you can't do this. JT, you can't do this, right? And he's like, yeah. Slaps his own wrist. And then, a guy like this does it and the coach wants to beat him up. You saw that on the sideline. First off, crazy. I'm a fan of John Gannon. Brother, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
And I know there's some fans out there, like there's a lot of fans that are like, well, toughen up and all this shit because like their little league coach pushed them or something. But bro, this is like a grown man game.
Yeah, we're all grown.
Don't fucking put your hands on me.
Because the issue is like what that is just like in the moment.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Because then what if
DeMercado turn and he jabs Gannon and it just drops him.
Because Gannon pushed him hard.
Absolutely. And it looked like it hit him twice. And whether you're hitting the pads aggressively or whatever, it's just like if the tables turn, then it's a whole big thing.
I know there's a lot of
like,
Tommy Tough Nuts football fans that are like, hey, well, this is the way it's supposed to be is, you're supposed to just listen to your fucking coach and shit.
Shots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So only Reed and Kelsey can touch their stomachs to. Hey, don't touch your stomach to my stomach. That's going to be a problem.
Or you might get that player that might let it slide, and then you get in the locker room and he'd be like, hey, coach, like, we got to shoot the fade. Like, whether you know what that means or not, like, we got to go into the shower
pew, pew.
and we got to fight one-on-one for 30
I don't know,
seconds.
man. All I know is, Gannon, I think Gannon's a good coach. I think he's a victim of a quarterback who, I know in this game it wasn't the quarterback. It was everything else, and they didn't come, what?
Why you throwing Kyler? Why you throwing him in this?
Because I've been watching him for 5 years.
He didn't drop that ball.
I know. I just
know
was
what you're
getting
saying.
there. I said in this game, I think Gannon as a whole has been a victim of, the quarterback not taking the next step. I think the defense and the roster, it's improved. You talk about like the play they had in the secondary, the whole thing. Like I watched this defense early in the season, and there's some really good moments from this group. But he is responsible for the culture on the team, and he's responsible for these mistakes in this game where it's like if your running back drops the ball, that, as you said, that's the first fucking thing. When we come in on Monday morning, and maybe the problem, DeMarcado was tired because he was out Sunday night or something, but when they put on the big screen what happened last week, everybody needs to see this. That can't happen. And then obviously
how do you coach up the defensive play?
That to me is a tougher one because that could happen to anybody. That is just seventh circle of hell bad luck. And it is like you got to cover the football up and that's that whole thing, but like but that was bad news bear shit. And it I see it happen all the time where guys are running around with the ball like a loaf of bread and it just doesn't burn them.
But here's my thing.
And it burned them in this game. It was like everything went wrong, down to the fact that like when they got the ball and could have iced the game, they ran the ball 3 times and just fucking gave the ball back. Yep. Tennessee's got their secondaries in shambles, and you don't drop back to throw, which to me also speaks to the lack of confidence you might have in your passer, and then on top of it, you give up the game-winning drive.
I think this.
Give
I
me
think
a quarterback
this should be,
design run in that scenario.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think this should be a new rule on defense and defensive coaches because that linebacker that caught that pick, it's like if you get up, bro, like where are you going? Like honestly, like do you really think you're gonna get up and score a 90-yard touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
Stay down. Like there's certain guys, if you get an interception, just stay down and get the possession. Be happy with that. Take your trot to the end zone after. Get your pictures, and it's a happy day. But all the getting up or thinking like, oh, I'm gonna score. I'm gonna get this interception and I'm gonna take it all the way to the house. When reality is just like, bro, you're not gonna.
You're telling me try hard facts who talks about how hard he tries in games and practice. He stumbles after a pick. You're telling me you're not gonna try your hardest to get back up and get some extra yardage.
Listen, I played quarterback and running back in high school.
Ooh.
Like it's different. It's different. Like I have confidence knowing that I'm
rules for thee.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, this game was a shit show, and you know what I think's crazy is Callahan, whose job's on the line, right? It's wild theater to see him inherit an opportunity at a lifeline like that, and then at the end of the game, his offense, which he doesn't call the plays for anymore, but he's running the operation. I turn to Noel and I go, this is good TV. The guy whose job is on the line has got to lord over a 2-minute drill where operation, clock management, timeout usage with a rookie quarterback got to drive back down the field and make this happen. And I want to give him credit, but I also want to say Cam Ward he's got a lot of tools in his body, man.
Dude,
and
that
he made that thing happen.
Ball.
His highlight reel from this game.
So nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know. If they don't fuck him
all
up, he's going to be a hell of a quarterback.
No doubt.
And I want
they're still ass though, right?
they're ass right now.
Ass, yeah.
But I will say this is the last thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. and I got on my soapbox about him after the Thursday night game when people were shitting on him,
dunking on people
because the guy had almost 1,000 yards his rookie year. He's dropped some balls. He dropped a ball or two in prime time a week ago. And then he comes back and finishes the game strong. Like the mental toughness that takes. I know it's hard being and we talked about this before, like I respect the fuck out of an undrafted guy's journey. Undrafted guys deserve so much credit. And the mid-round and late-round guys. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is getting paid a fuck ton of money, but he's got his cross to bear, which is every time he makes a fucking mistake, people tell him he sucks, even though he's on pace to go for another 1,000 this year, whatever it is. And I love the fact that he picked up right where he left off in that game with just another circus catch down by the goal line. There's a lot going wrong in Arizona, but not all the players are misses. Like, they have a lot of good players on that team. Like, when they put it all together at some point, I don't know when it'll be, if some of these pieces are still there, he's one that's – I remember when I was a rookie and I was down on myself, and I had somebody come up to me. It was my equipment manager, and he was like, don't sweat it. Like, coach yelled at me for something. He's like, you're going to be here longer than all these motherfuckers. And I would say the same thing to Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to be here longer than everybody. He's going to be a cornerstone of the franchise. That was really good to see that. But just an absolutely drunk game. Absolutely drunk game.
Marvin will definitely see the new facility.
Marvin's going to see the new facility.
For sure.
Whereas Kyler this last week was like, man, I hope I see the new facility. They were like, when's it come out? They're like, next month. Or it was like 2027. But
man.
That'll be here before you know it.
Wait till they troll Kyler if he's not there, and they're going to show like a state-of-the-art like video game room in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
Dude, that's I feel bad because like there's a good quarterback in there, but it just I don't know. Okay, 1 p.m. Best of the 1 p.m.s, the Broncos and the Birds. I want to start with the Broncos here, and before I do, and I'm going to talk slowly to people on the chat because sometimes I think I talk too fast, where people misunderstand what I'm saying. Like last night, I said I'm not going to do the thing where I blame the refs for the Eagles' loss because that's not why they lost the game. And then I explained why. I expounded on that premise for 30 seconds, and people were killing me about it. Like, well, you just did the thing that you said you wouldn't do. No, I did the thing that I said I would do, which is explain why the Eagles did not lose because of the referees. I don't disagree with the Bond call. The intentional grounding call was not egregious, nor was it some shady thing where people, New York changed the rule this year and you're not supposed to pick up a flag or throw a flag based off a review with grounding unless it's a tackle box issue. We took the time to explain all that. Do I agree that it was DPI on the 4-yard line? Sure, absolutely. The game should have came down to one play on the 4-yard line. But the Broncos fans will tell you they had 12 penalties for like 120, right, Cowboys? So
yeah,
we're not going to do that thing in this deal. And I'm going to start by talking about how good the Broncos were. Okay, 3:55 to go in the third. Nix airmails a ball to the flat. It's intended for Cortland Sutton. And at that point, I'm like, Reed, I don't know, bro. Like, I've been looking at the throws in the first half, and hey, the placement's off. He's missing. The thing I'll say about Beau Nix is he's an adult. He's well coached. He knows where to go with the football. He's missing the opportunities that Peyton's scheming up through much of the game. So at that point in the game, they're down multiple scores. He misses the ball in the flat. I'm like, oh, fuck. He just doesn't look right. And he's missed some throws all year. But from that moment forward, they get the ball back, and this is part of the problem with the Eagles when we get to them, with 2:38 to go in that third quarter. And they start putting it together. I mean, he sailed some balls in the first, but he was clutch when it mattered. On the final 3 drives, 9 for 10 for 126 and a passing touchdown. And I'm not going to get up here and act like all of a sudden he looked like Joe Montana. There was a play where he hit Ingram on a crosser, and it's behind him and high. And Ingram makes a nice play on it. If he puts it out in front of him, it's probably 30 more yards.
How about that dart?
So we're nitpicking. I'll nitpick a little bit here just to say, like, hey, it ain't perfect yet, which goes to show you how much room for growth he has. And the reason Sean loves him is because when it is time to go somewhere with the football, he goes there. So that's a good thing. And the final 3 drives were clutch. They were great. 126 yards of passing touchdown. They got on the edge late in the run game, which I thought was a big deal, right? Schemed on the edge, late motion, pre-snap, and playing the numbers game and out-leveraging the Eagles. So the run game was schemed up well. And this is huge. It's a huge win. The Broncos they've had to wear this "we don't beat good teams" rep, right? And rightfully so, because they haven't beaten a lot of good teams in their first year and a half in this Bo Nix experiment. But they beat a team that hadn't lost in 371 days when the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, finishes the game. That is a big deal at the link. I don't care how shitty the Eagles are playing right now. That was a big fucking deal. And so it's a signature win you can build off of. The Eagles, remember, they've beaten Stafford, they've beaten Prescott, they've beaten Mahomes, they've beaten Baker this year. They couldn't beat Bo Nix. Okay? And, if you're a Broncos fan, you probably feel like, hey, we're a leveraging penalty and a couple overthrows away from being 5-0. So you should be excited if you're a Broncos fan. And did the game surprise me? Not even a fucking bit. Okay? The guys that watched the game with me would tell you that. Okay? I don't like giving out the I did it with the Bucs last week and, people get mad at me, but like I'm not in the habit, but 4.5 points was too fucking much in this game. That was free money, okay? That's too much for a pretty solid Denver team, the way Philly's been playing. And here are the best decisions that I thought really led to the win. Defensively, Vance Joseph going to zone more in the second half. We talked about the sim pressures that Todd Bowles used, right? In the second half of that game a week before, Vance, would he come back to it? I thought they played way too much man in the first half. That does Jalen Hurts and the Eagles a favor when you play that much man, as evidenced by this number. Jalen Hurts EPA per drop back yesterday versus man plus 0.38 versus zone minus 0.31. And I asked Nolan to look it up for the rest of the year, and boy, does it hold up, doesn't it?
Yeah, 43 dropbacks versus man coverage, 118.6 rating, 5 tuds, only 1 sack, and a 10.6 ADOT. It's been pretty aggressive versus man versus zone, 103 dropbacks, 86.9 rating. Only 1 TD. He's taken 9 sacks, and that ADOT drops to 6.7 yards.
So as we go forward, when we get to talking about the Eagles, and it'll be a free-for-all in here in a second, I think that's a big theme. But it took Vance a half, and maybe it was a punch-counter-punch thing where, early in the game, you had to show the willingness to do it. As you could see, like, it doesn't take a lot, even though you have Pat Surtain. If you have A.J. Brown, you can run in cuts and live off them all day. And obviously the Riley Moss thing, who I think is a good player, but DeVonta Smith is a really fucking good number 2. Riley Moss, he kind of gets the short end of the stick because, yes, he's playing next to Pat Surtain, but he's also playing next to Pat Surtain, which means you're always going to – they're not going at Pat Surtain. You're going to get a lot of action, white boy. And, I made a joke last night. It was like, it felt like, I know they had end racism in the end zone for some time, but it felt kind of racist the way they were going at Riley Moss, dude. And we knew coming to the game they were going to go at Riley Moss. So good for him for hanging in there because they were fucking on his ass. And then offensively,
so he's automatic Waldo no matter what.
But he's not I don't call him Waldo because he's a good player.
Okay,
but he's the lesser of two evils.
There's levels.
They don't have a Waldo. That's the thing about like Denver.
Smitty here as a receiver, and then Riley Moss.
Yeah,
but if you're a quarterback,
Smitty's a number 1 playing number 2.
Yes,
but if you're a quarterback,
exactly.
You look over, you're like, Patrick Surtain, nah.
No, dude, I'm not going there unless but they did yesterday sometimes on slants and stops and all that stuff, like the stuff that they like doing, and the go balls, which we'll talk about. But I thought offensively the key was Sean Payton not only going for 2, which ended up being a big deal, but finding Waldo. Okay, the Warren Buffett quote that Nolan brought up last night, Warren Buffett said, and I might be paraphrasing, it's great to learn from your mistakes. It's even better to learn from other people's mistakes. Yep. He wasn't going to make the mistake. We said this coming to the game. He was not going to make the mistake where you throw at Coop and Quignon 18 combined times. There was a time late in the game where they flipped the script and went at Quignon because that's your best receiver, right? Mm-hmm. But early in the game, targeted Ringo 7 times, including the 2-point conversion. I thought that was great. Your boy Crawshaw or however the fuck you say his name.
Crawshaw.
He's a fucking weapon, dude. 5 punts down inside the 20. And Benito now has 7 sacks. I'm going to finish my Broncos portion of this by saying this. He should be getting DPOY votes at the end of the year. He is so fast off the ball. But don't get it twisted in this game. Okay? The one reason, and this is a positive for the Broncos, you're not going to see any other teams that can say, hey, we're just going to leave our tackles alone on Cooper and Benito. And it's going to work. And it worked for most of the game. I know he had 2.5 sacks. 2 of them, Jalen Hurts held the ball for a combined like 10 seconds. Okay, which is, if I'm an offensive lineman, I'm starting to look behind me at Jalen and say, hey, man, fucking get the ball out. He ends up with 2.5 sacks. I just say this is impressive because I know you got great coverage, but usually people can't contend with your edge rushers. And they could, and you still found a way to win this game, which is great. So big big win for the Broncos. Let's talk about the mushroom cloud that is Eagles Twitter this morning, Eagles discourse this morning, the radio, WIP, the Greenlight Pod. Like, what's going on, guys?
My group chats.
Yeah, your group chat.
It's a 4-1, baby.
That was crazy, dude. It wasn't crazy though, because this is what happens when you play with fire for fucking the better part of 2 months. Eventually, you get burned, and that to me is like, you want to know why I'm not sold on this team yet? If you do, I kind of want to know where you've been on Sunday afternoons. It's so easy after a win to say, yeah, but they won the game. Okay, well, when you lose, then now can we talk about it? There's a lot going on with this team right now, and they should be happy to be 4-1, but the offense is a disaster. It's kind of a disaster considering who they have on the field.
Yeah, totally. And the run game obviously is not. We talked about this a lot. It's not as effective as it was last year right now, but I really, and I'm curious what you guys think about this. I really believe some degree of success in the run game comes from just being stubborn to it.
Yes.
And just to see them not, like, I think it was like 11 attempts across the whole game.
You have to have a set number that you have to hit.
Right.
No matter what.
Especially the third quarter, you're up 2 TDs. To get totally away from the run there, you're trying to protect the 17-3 lead.
No, what you're trying to protect is your diva-ass wide receivers and all this extra noise in your ears about passing the rock. We should be passing the rock. And when you get ahead in the game, you're like, you know what? Maybe we should throw the ball to him, or we should do a little bit to keep these guys happy. Instead of just being like, no, just run the ball. Run the ball with Saquon and run the ball with your quarterback. That's what you guys are good at. That's how you guys score points. Everyone else, you just have to get on board.
But be honest though, I think this is an easy talking point too, and I agree they got to run the ball because, and Beau knows this, everything comes off the run game for this team. Yeah. I know you think the quarterback's the main character. The main character has been the offensive line, and that's okay.
His name is Jeff Stoutland.
The main character, and there's 2 main characters outside, okay, and they're not happy right now. But in the past, you could run the fucking ball, and teams had to play man, right? But now, if the interior of the offensive line, which is not going to get much better this year, because I don't see a 6'8", 350-pound guy who's got now 5 injuries getting a lot better this year. Juergens said it out loud, I read, and I've been saying this all year. He hadn't been healthy since the Super Bowl. Steen's not Becton. The 2 tackles are fucking great, okay? But you got to run the football, right? And if teams don't respect that ability, they're not going to load the box. They're not going to play man. They're going to sit back and play zone, which happens to be the thing that your quarterback struggles with. And it fucks the whole chain up, dude.
Yep.
And so 25 plays in the second half or whatever it was, one design run. The one thing I want to push back on is the RPO stuff to the flat was a good answer for them early.
Yep.
And that can be your run game.
Yeah, that's a run.
Right.
That can be your run game.
Specifically for the man coverage.
For the man coverage.
Yep.
For the man coverage.
Totally.
So to me, the problem, you could say, hey, it's play calling, and it is. It's decision making. The head coach should walk over to Kevin Patullo in the third quarter and say, hey, I don't care what the fuck you do, Kevin, but you're going to eat 9 minutes on these next 3 drives.
Yeah.
Push. P10 push all the way down the field.
Do it. Like, I absolutely would do that. Like, if you have an advantage in something and no one can stop it, like, why wouldn't you do that shit? Or just y'all ran the fake. Start running more variations off the fake. Treat it like the triple option. Treat that play like the triple option if you need it. But like at the end of games and you're running 4-minute offense or whatever you want to call it, you need to eat time. It shouldn't be an issue. Like, you have Saquon and you have the best running quarterback in the game.
It's a great point.
It should not be an issue.
Get to the triple option stuff we're seeing on Kami's tape, which we'll get to later.
No question. And honestly, you look at the Commanders' offense, you look at this offense, and you're like, my God, dude.
Yeah.
And now I know they got Jaden Daniels is spectacular, and they've got like they have a real. Listen, they've got a run game that really functions. It functions with the backup quarterback in there. They scheme things up. I know what they're doing. When I watch them, this guy Kevin Patullo is calling plays, not calling a game, right? I'm watching the Commanders, and they're calling a fucking game, dude. And so when I watch this offense, and people can get all mad and shit, but like it's going to take a lot for this offense to look consistently better the rest of the year. That's the thing about the NFL. Like, And we have been conditioned as people who follow the Eagles to think like, hey, things can change throughout the year, and they can. Like, last year you had some blow-ups that, that spilled over into the media because BG told too much family business. And
we haven't seen the book yet.
But you didn't see this stuff where they just couldn't run the ball. The safety blanket is not there, and the personnel is the personnel. I don't care how good a Coach Stout is, like, they used to just bulldoze people off the ball last year.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley, it took him like how many rushes to get a 19-yard rush? It was the longest rush of the year for him.
Yeah.
Last year, one of the best things about the Eagles offense was the explosives, bro. And explosives on the ground, too. So,
this is going to sound crazy, Chris, but I actually think a short week, like the Eagles play on Thursday here against the Giants, I think it actually could really benefit the Eagles offense. Because it's like, let's just get back to basics. Not going to install any crazy shit and just run the fucking ball. You know what I mean? Sure. That's kind of what I think. It could be a good recipe for him,
or it could be.
I think where you're kind of
Giants got a decent defense,
dude. Beau, I
I'd like to talk about actual football here, facts. If you're interested in doing that,
golly, you guys get a room.
I don't remember what I was saying, but you were talking about the personnel a little bit, and that like the O-line has been banged up. Okay, Landon Dickerson has not been playing to the level of play that he's capable of at all because he's been injured. We saw him leave that game with an ankle. He's been dealing with back issues, knee issues. Juergens hasn't been healthy. And then, like you said, the right guard, the interior of the Eagles' offensive line historically has been a huge strength, and now we're kind of seeing how the run game suffers without that. But I think that if you kind of commit yourselves to it, you have such a talented running back and such good edge players. If you can get a little more creative on, with some outside zone stuff and not have the bread and butter be the inside run game, which it has historically been, I think it'll really pay dividends because then you can, play action deep shots, keep those divas happy, facts.
Yeah.
You can hit up, everybody else. And you can also get Jalen on the move a little bit. The pocket's moving a little bit with those play actions. Get him outside the pocket where he's, very comfortable.
Bro, if you're winning games,
I think that could – playing a short week.
If you're winning games, you shouldn't care about keeping anyone happy. Everyone should be happy.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But the reality is NFL players, we're not always going to be happy unless, like, especially when a lot is expected of the player, he feels that pressure. Sometimes somebody will be like, oh, and this is the point I was trying to make about AJ. Sometimes like you're looked at as selfish, but you're being selfish because you think a bunch of eyeballs are on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to produce like the number one. So I don't know what's going to happen. I will say about this Thursday, the minute the game ended last night, I bet the fuck out of the under. Because I watched the Giants tape last night, and, I think they'll be able to block them up in spots. And if they can, they're going to be able to throw the ball. Like, I don't think the secondaries,
playing unreal.
But those guys up front, who's blocking Dexter Lawrence?
And that's the point I was just
and you talk about the way they're wrecking the run game.
Exactly.
Dude, like, all right, so I guess, and I saw a comment and we're going to move on, but I saw a comment in here from somebody in the chat, and it was adjust your expectations. And that's what I've been saying for a fucking month and a half, but I had people pissed off at me about saying it. And now we're 5 weeks in, and if I were to tell you the team's going to be fine, you'd be pissed off at me too. So just realize not every year is when you win a Super Bowl, it just gets so easy to be like, hey, we're just going to be back there every year. And I'm not saying they can't go back, but it's fucking hard to defend a title, man. I don't understand what people don't understand about that. I lived it 2018. We're 4-6.
Yeah.
Now we ended up on the doorstep of the NFC Championship, and probably you could argue could have been there. We were good enough. And if we get in, we feel like we're good enough to play. This team is the same way. They're better than that 17 team or better than the 18 team. But it might take a while. And I don't know what it's going to take. The thing that concerns me is if the quarterback's not seeing it, and he throws the ball outside the numbers deep as well as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we saw last week in the second half was an aberration. But he can't overcome a bad offensive coordinator. He's not that type of guy. It is what it is.
Let me ask you this. One last
question.
Sure. How do you coach up the Hail Mary? And do you think A.J. Brown affected DeVonta Smith from catching that?
I'm not going to do that. The one thing we should be talking about with A.J. is like the effort on the route and the unwillingness after the game to kind of be like, yeah, I kind of quit on that play. And I didn't really, like he's like, I didn't see the ball. So,
it's a Hail Mary. I'll bite on that, facts. I understand kind of what you're getting at. And the bottom line is it's a fucking jump ball, man. You're playing 500 in the backyard, and you're just everybody is trying to catch that ball. Like, you have no idea all this sea of bodies in front of you. You don't know if it's your teammate. You don't know if it's a DB. You know, in my experience as a nose guard in the NFL, I've had a lot of time dealing with those jump balls, and it's chaos, man. You don't know who's coming down with that thing. Like,
that shit was ironic though that the game ended and like everybody's pissed about like the receivers getting targets, and they both got targeted because they were like, they were in like a prom pose, like.
And Jalen Hurts didn't Jalen Hurts throw the most passes? Like, didn't he throw like 40 passes this game?
And Hurts ran after he threw the Hail Mary, started sprinting towards the goal line. It was hilarious. Like, it was kind of a good idea, honestly, because he could catch a tip. But like, I got no problem with Hurts, the leader or the guy, you know, his mental toughness or even the tools. I just think like he needs a dynamic play caller, and they don't have that right now. And if you don't have that, you better have a run game, and they don't have that right now. So it's out of balance. Okay, we'll see if it gets fixed. 4 p.m. This is undoubtedly the best game of the day if you like offense. Bucs Hawks. Now both teams had injuries, so like I just want to say this at the outset. Like, we're going to talk about certain injuries. You know, Seahawks banged up defensively, Bucs banged up defensively as well, including like Bucky Irving. Do you have that statement I wanted you to read? Oh, it's for Nate. Here you go. Can you read this out loud? I just wanted you to do a dramatic reading of Bucky Irving's post.
All right. God gave his toughest battle to his toughest soldiers. Don't cry for me when the war is over. I died on the cross yesterday. My eyes are open to who is here for me as a football player and who is here for me as Marquise Bucky Irving. These people in the pictures don't describe what pain looks like. I admire these people. We worry about the wrong things, and all come together as a community, love one another, and follow faith in Jesus' name. We all got to come together. This is divine, too many different ways. We were about the wrong things in life. We just need to come together and love one another. Thing is about family 10 times just like. Open and see who's really there for me as a football player and who is there for me as a person, actually care about me and love me for who I am. Can't hide no more. Gotta open up. I've been in this shell for too long. God is real.
Hard to argue with that. That was Bucky.
Wait.
That was Bucky Irving's post after he hurt his ankle, bro.
What time was that sent out?
I don't know, but like, I got so much respect for the guy. I want to say I casually agree with everything he just said.
I died on the cross yesterday.
No, you can't laugh at that. Can't laugh at that. I just was like, man, that was pretty interesting because if I'd have read that and not known, I'd be like, his career might be over. But like, I think we're gonna get Bucky back in the next month. Oh, like, wow. Right? That's right.
Yeah.
Like that's
I saw him at the gym today. We're gonna see him. All right.
Did you see him at the gym?
So when he posted this, did he think like his season was over? Maybe.
I don't know, but I just thought it was a hell of a post.
It is,
and I wanted you to read it. So,
what's his at? Though, real quick, is it like
Bucky
1K always open?
Bucky
what is it?
2 times. BUCKY.
You know what's pretty funny? On my notes here, because one of my favorite things about this game was I think the play-by-play GOAT in Kevin Harlan was on this game. He was born to call this game. I fucking love that dude. I have written down here, what would you have Kevin Harlan read? Because like that's a really interesting question on his head, but like that might be the answer.
Send him that tweet.
Just read that. That'd be so. I'd like to have Kevin Harlan.
He should do cameos.
This is gonna be
that's what I was saying. He should do cameos and read like "Good Night Moon" and shit. Like
this is gonna be the Buccaneers, like their motto, like after Tim Tebow said his old thing in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I vow right now
that
I'm going to play the best football.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like, there it is.
But they got some dudes, man. They got some guys, like they got dudes on this team who are culturally the right people, man.
Get your button.
My button, yeah. Oh, yeah. They got
Imika Egbegbo.
Yo.
You know what's bad with Terry's the one correcting you, dude.
And then,
my dad was like,
the way those guys reacted, they had to have like tried it 10 times before going out there.
And I loved it.
They're like, come on.
He was like, Terry's correcting you. And then Gronk like sat and thought about it. And he was like, all right, Terry. He was like, all right, Terry.
Yeah,
you do breakdowns.
Yeah.
He's like, wait till we correct you.
Between the two of those guys, they're hilarious. But
some of these names are hard, man.
No, they are. They are. I just happen to have said his name a bunch because he's an absolute baller, dude. This was a QB fest, man. Lots of injuries, as we said in the secondary. QBs got hit a total of 3 times in this game, which kind of makes you sick as a rusher. But if you like offense, it was awesome. 2 defensive coaches with teams led by former Carolina Panthers quarterbacks throwing to Ohio State wide receivers, and both first-year OCs had their teams cooking in the second half. I mean, it was like nobody punted. Baker played the best game of his season, and this is what my takeaway from this game, because I did put the Bucs in the Super Bowl before the season, which is kind of like throwing a dart. Okay, it could be anybody in the NFC, in my opinion. Now you're seeing why, right? Okay, but the Bucs have not rounded into form. We have not seen their best football. Number one, they haven't been healthy. There's a lot of teams that haven't been healthy, but they've been missing basically their whole offensive line, right? And Baker's playing like a fucking MVP. I saw posts this morning with people like, Baker MVP. He's 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, a truckload of yards, like a ridiculous amount of explosives. They have so many explosives. There were third downs in this game where it was like 3rd and 17, 3rd and 15, and they're converting, and they don't even have a full deck outside. Mike Evans isn't on the field. Bucky Irving's not on the field. You're missing multiple offensive linemen. You're missing guys in the secondary. I thought this was a huge win on a week that's essentially a short week relative to the Seahawks, who have a mini bye, and you've got to travel after that 100-degree game, which felt like 2 football games against the Eagles, and you got to go across the country and win in a really tough place to play. And Baker's the type of guy, this is why I love him, that interaction with that fan, and I know that fan in Seattle, that's the guy. I've told you about this guy.
Yeah.
Once a year, I used to talk shit to that guy. He actually ended up being a really cool guy. We took a picture of the last game where I knew I was getting cut, and I was like, "Yo, bro, let's get a picture." Like it was like red and blue, you know. But
that's a cool moment for that guy.
Yeah.
And we dapped up and hugged, and like for 8 years,
a professional fan he is.
Yeah, but because he's always in the same spot. If this is the guy. Yeah. But Baker was, he's like a pro quarterback, and he's got some shit to him, and he's talking shit and the whole thing, and the guys love him. The throws he made yesterday were just next level. The other guy, Darnold, was incredible as well. I mean, the pick at the end of the game, the irony of this thing is, with all the guys down for the Bucs, I didn't feel like they could play as much man. They couldn't blitz as much. We said coming in like, hey, you want to look at the blitz tape on Darnold? The game came down to they went two for 1 on the back and brought pressure, and he threw it right to Levante David, who, good for him, absolute leader, stud, the whole thing. But I do think he's lost a little bit of a step this year, and for him to make a big play like that was awesome. So,
well, I think Darnold was trying to burn that ball.
You think he was just trying to burn it? Yeah,
off of Logan Hall's helmet and just perfectly into LD's hands. That was great, though. What a game. And, Chris, I can't believe you didn't even mention the uniforms.
Well, we're going to get to Bevel Conway in a little bit. It's just gorgeous. It couldn't and CBS got the score bug right, because, you were worried that maybe they put Kevin Harlan on the game, and they did it all. Kevin Harlan will sell 60 minutes like nobody's business, dude. Like the emotional come down off of and Tracker. I'm like, what the fuck is Tracker, dude? Like, was it Linda Ronstadt or somebody like I don't even know who it was, but
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper. I was like, man, usually when a Kevin Harlan game ends in 60-minute, like the come down's intense. Like you go from Kevin Harlan to like seeing buildings being bombed somewhere around the world, and you're just like, fuck me, dude. Like, I guess this is just football.
That's when the Sunday scaries really hit.
That's when the scaries hit, is when Kevin Harlan stops talking and the guy that little pocket watch starts fucking ticking.
60 minutes.
But here's the worst part. Baker, was it 2.85 time to throw? I had somebody look that up. Seattle's got to get a pass rush. You got that many guys down.
Yep, 2.85.
2.85 seconds time to throw is an eternity. Terrible call on the pitch play. Ended up a fumble. Yeah. That was Milroe.
That was okay. Can I just interject on that? To me, that's so dumb. Number one, Milroe he's probably getting 4 snaps of that all week in practice. And like, let's not forget, all right, this is a team where they're going to be a possession team, defensive head coach. They're going to be a team that's going to win on not making mistakes, right? I think Darnold had 6 incompletions all day. For some reason, you bring in Jalen Milroe. It's a lefty pitch. That's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming in off the bench, pitching lefty. To me, like, not a good play by him personally, but like I also feel like they're to a certain extent a very good coaching staff is putting a player in a bad position there, and it's frustrating.
That's a great point, Beau. And you said it, very good coaching staff, because I think Kubiak's done a fantastic job. You watch that game, the way they call it, the way they scheme up JSN. I saw some like yards per route run on him, and they compared it to like Tyreek Hill in the heyday of the Chiefs, and Cooper Kupp in like 21 or whatever that year was, and he's like over 4 yards per route run, and it's like Tyreek was like low 3s. So they take shots, play action sets it up. From the beginning of the game, they schemed him open, and obviously like it's a tough draw for a guy like goddamn, the guy from Kansas State who I've talked about all year. Tough draws for some of those guys. They hung in there. Seattle, though, this is the part that concerns me about Tampa, is like the lack of pass rush, right?
Yes.
For sure the lack of pass rush, but also the run game. Seattle got on their edges really well throughout the game, and so like the edges of the defense in the run game, which had been better, they've really played well against outside zone. But if you get on the perimeter on them, that's what we talked about last week. There are some yards to be had, and Seattle did just that. I think the right side of Seattle's offensive line, Lucas and I guess it's Bradford, 75. They really move guys in the run game. Like you can run behind those guys. So Seattle and Tampa, to me, are 2 of the best teams in the NFC. So like,
I agree.
Yeah, this is a great matchup. The defenses have to play better. They would if they were healthy on both sides, but it was a shootout. 2.4 yards before contact for the Seahawks. That's really fucking good. That's not good enough for the Bucs.
I was just going to add on the Milroe piece, I feel like if you want that to be a part of your offense, you have to commit to it being a feature of your offense, like the Saints do with Taysom Hill, because you allow that player to get into the flow of the game. Like, you guys could speak to this as players. Do you want to come off the sideline just for one play in a critical moment?
No.
Like, I don't know. You're tight. You're not.
I mean, even before Dart was starting for the Giants, they bring him in, 3 or 4 times a game, just do zone reads.
Right.
It's like you get him going a little bit before that, and then that kills me. And I want to give some love to Tez Johnson from the Bucs. He looks snappy out there, man. I thought he played really good, and it's been kind of fun to watch some of these guys for the Bucs step up. And with Godwin, he was injured earlier this year. He's back now. Mike's hurt now. You got how did Rob say his name? Igbuku.
Well, hold on.
Igbuka.
Imika Egbegbu.
Big Boo.
So you see him obviously
Boo.
stepping up. I think they've been getting a lot out of Sterling Shepard too, which is cool. And then, but to see Tez Johnson, like, he's got some fucking pop to him, man.
He's twitched up.
It was fun to watch him. Yeah, he's twitchy. Like, it was cool to see him. He had 4 receptions for 59 yards, but one really nice 27-yard one. It's just cool to see some of these guys step up. Also, like Ryan Miller had a nice touchdown a couple weeks ago for the Bucs. So they've been getting some production out of some of their depth guys offensively, which is good.
Dog, talk about recency bias, and I love this game and everything, but there's a poll with 127 votes in the chat, and it was like, what's the greatest offensive game you've watched? And it was Bucs Seahawks in 25, Rams Chiefs in 2018, and it's damn near 50-50. That Rams Chiefs game was like silly, dude. I would even put the Rams Vikings game from I think around 2018 in the same category before I'd put this game up there. But yeah, just incredible. Just an awesome game and 2 very, very good teams. I thought the good days for both offensive coordinators, honestly, other than the Milroe pitch.
Right.
So just wild. Kevin Harlan made the whole thing for me. So look at the Bucs schedule coming up. Just out of curiosity, can you pull that up? And I'll pull up the Seahawks schedule.
I got Bucs if you're ready for it.
Oof. Hit me. It's an oof.
49ers coming up. 425. Detroit. And a quick little break with the Saints divisional game.
Yeah.
And up in New England. Then against New England down here in Tampa. Then Buffalo and LA. And then you got, Arizona, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. So like the next, let's see, 1, 2, 5 of the next 7 are pretty serious opponents. I feel like their strength of schedule is pretty strong.
And I think for the Seahawks, the thing that's going to be interesting, they get 2 good edges they got to protect against next week against the Jags. Then they get the Texans defense. Then they get the Commanders defense, who's been playing very well. I mean, we'll talk about them. I thought the front 7 was really good yesterday. And they get the Rams all in the next, 4 or 5 weeks. So, I think, as far as how far can this team go, obviously you want to get the guys back healthy for Seattle, but, also, can you protect Sam Darnold? Because the offensive line has improved, and just by virtue of Kubiak calling the plays, they've improved. But, can they get into a drop-back passing situation if the game script goes awry and block teams like the Texans, the Jags ends, the Commanders pressure package, the Rams front 4? That's going to be interesting over the next month or 2 of the season. All right, so getting into the ugly losses in the AFC.
Ooh, welcome to the cook-off.
Are we putting the Ravens? Are we eating? Eating Blackbird?
It was a cook-off.
Yeah.
And the only thing that is saving the Ravens from being cooked and sold on the grill right now is their strength of schedule
coming up, dude.
That's it. That's honestly it. But the way they played this last week, it does not give me confidence. Their defense looks absolutely terrible. And what makes a defense look even more terrible is when the team you're playing against has a defense who is playing and flying around, playing physical, playing really like the identity that if you're a Ravens fan, what the Ravens defense is kind of known for, and that identity now that the Texans and DeMarco has those guys, how they're playing. But the Ravens right now, I don't know what the answer is, what they need to do, but they just look bad, top to bottom. Start the game. CJ Stroud looks like CJ Stroud of old. 10 plays, 10 plays, 65 yards. Touchdown to Xavier Hutchinson, his first touchdown of the year. They got guys who never scored before scoring.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
He had 2 touchdowns in his first 2 career touchdowns on the Ravens defense.
Well, in the last 5 quarters, they've had all their rookies score. Things are coming together a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
I know it's the Ravens. That's everybody's get-right game right now.
But, watching this game, Cooper Rush, they started the game. He started off all right. He was 5 for 5 for 69 yards on that first drive. They really should have scored a touchdown, but they ended with a field goal. Things looked decent.
Yeah.
And then Woody Marks, Nick Chubbs, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, everyone just started piling on. Everyone started playing well. And
you have that text from yesterday? I'd love to put that up. This is one of the best texts I've gotten in the Gen Pop. I'll read it. It's from Nate Collins. Texans have 2 running backs with dick jokes built into their names. Woody Marks and Nick Chubbs. LOL.
Woody,
dude.
Oh man, I like Woody. They have 2 great running backs, and I mean, I'm a guy that I'm a fan of Mixon, and I think Mixon is an absolute game changer, and he's an awful.
But I trade both of them right now, this minute, for Joe Mixon.
No, absolutely, no, absolutely. Yeah. But them together, filling that void until they get him back, and having them worked in so that he can get worked back in healthily, and they don't put too much on him. I think that's great. But it's just one of those things where if the Houston Texans would have lost this game, it would have been, I think, so hard for them to even think about what's next, or are we even good?
It wasn't even an option, Nate.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't an option.
It really wasn't.
This team has bullied them over the past couple of years. The Ravens have straight up bullied these guys. D'Amico's post-game interview is way different than I think what he's like. He smiles, he shows class, he's really polished. But I think behind closed doors, he's not a coach you want to piss off, and I think he takes losses personally.
Absolutely.
And I think they took that loss last year very personally. I think coming off the playoff loss to Baltimore, and so what? Baltimore's wounded. Well, Baltimore didn't give a fuck. You had a rookie quarterback, and you weren't even supposed to be winning games when they trounced you in the playoffs in Baltimore. this was a game where they wanted to rub Baltimore's nose in a little
Absolutely.
bit. And they did. They scored on their first 8 or 10 possessions. It was crazy.
The punter didn't punt to 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Who does he think he is? Rigoberto Sanchez?
Exactly. They're having
Dude's you got to work.
A no punt off.
The Ravens are still favored to win the AFC North -105 with the Steelers at +130. Here's the question: is Harbaugh in trouble? Is Orr in trouble? What are you gonna say?
Yo, I didn't check it all the time, but the brothers both lost and in terrible fashion.
That's your whole thing.
It happened. It happened
because Nate's had this thing over the past couple of years where the brothers can't lose the same day.
They can't lose in the same week.
Can they both win?
No, yeah, they both win. But like the football guys just won't allow both brothers to lose. But that changes when
maybe the football guys are football gods are tired of the Ravens, and I frankly am, like because Cooper Rush has a winning fucking record as a quarterback.
Yes,
he has a winning record as a quarterback. Now I know maybe he wasn't going to go out and win this game. Like I bet the house on Houston, but like you're telling me they couldn't look more fucking capable out there? Like this offense couldn't do shit for 3.5 weeks. And I know Woody Marks makes a difference, and I know having Ingram back at some point made a difference, and putting certain offensive linemen in the right places. By the way, weeks 1 to 4, Houston offense 40% pressure rate. This week 21%. Okay.
What do you say to the people?
5 explosive runs.
What do you say to the people that said, like, obviously you can't mimic or have someone who plays exactly like Lamar, but when people look and be like, Lamar is a mobile running quarterback, and when you see your backup,
dude, I'm one of those people.
Yeah, and your Cooper Rush, it's like, why do you pick to put him in that position and having to change a bunch of your things?
Well, that's the risk you run when your offense is predicated on the MVP caliber quarterback making a play with his legs and then his arms every third play. Like, like all your routes take forever to develop. You don't get that many guys out in the route sometimes. Like, and guess what? That big fucker with 22 on the back of his jersey, he should be the offense right now. He should be the offense, but it just doesn't feel like, have we finally did the Ravens slow Derrick Henry down? Finally. We've been waiting year after year, like when will this running back, when will the normal rules of running back when will they apply to Derrick Henry? They have not, and it feels like this year, like the Ravens have been so poorly.
If you watch this game, it's just that they're not blocked. Derrick Henry is a guy that you just have to block and let him get a yard or two past the line of scrimmage for him to get that full head of steam where he can be effective. The thing that the Houston did amazing is, bro, they're hitting him in the backfield. Like he doesn't have a chance to get going where he's scary. Bro, you know what I've seen in this game that you don't see a lot? Bro, Derrick Henry getting fucking shoulder checked and it working.
Yeah.
It being an efficient tackle.
Because of what you said. You don't want to give him a full head of steam.
No, and they were tattooing him. They were hitting him before he was getting going, and he looks like a pedestrian. They had 15 rushing yards in the first half, and you have Derrick Henry. Like, I think that's almost like, hey, you need to be put in jail for that. It's just that just like we were talking about earlier, for someone that has Derrick Henry in your backfield, it doesn't matter how good or bad the game is going. There should be a set number of plays that you're going to be allotted to that, hey, I'm running the ball no matter what, because you have a guy that all it takes is one play for him to break it open and change the game for you.
I think when Lamar gets back, if he's healthy, and I think they'll be 1-5 if he doesn't play this week for sure. I mean, they're not going to beat the Rams with Cooper Rush. Sorry. If they see the schedule the way I see it, there is hope for them to get in the playoffs. As crazy as that fucking sounds, because because Cincy has decided we are punting on the season. Whether they're saying that outright or not, they're fucking punting on the season. And the Browns don't have it. And the Steelers, I think you can catch them. And you got 2 games left against the Steelers. Now, what has to happen? You got to improve a lot on defense. So how do you do that? Last year, Dean Pease was on the staff and like got involved in defense late in the season. Now I think you're gonna have to do it again. I think Chuck Pagano's on the staff. You could double check that. But if somebody more senior than Zach Orr in the building needs to come in and be like, hey, let's put this fire out, whether it's everybody getting healthy or something you tweak in coverage or the way. I think they have to lean on Chuck if he's the guy in the building and say, hey, I know And maybe it's firing Zach Orr. I don't know. I'm not calling for the firing of a coordinator, especially a young coordinator like that, because I think the head coach has something to do with this too. Like,
For sure.
and I know how this works. Like, if a head needs to roll, it ain't gonna be him first, and that's kind of fucked up. I know the defense is the culprit, but like this team as a whole, the repeating themes on this fucking team over the past couple of years, you can tell in my voice I'm frustrated watching them.
Yeah.
You know, because they are kind of wasting a window.
There's
wasted a window.
There's a just details issue that persists with them. I'm not defending the staff, but just to throw this out there, I mean, I just sorted the guys who played defense for the Ravens yesterday. This is sorted by snap count. Starks, Teddy Buchanan, Ruben Lowry, Trenton Simpson, TJ Tampa, John Jenkins, Nate Wiggins, Keon Martin. Like, they're down a lot of dudes.
No, they're down a lot of dudes.
But I agree. I think, even when they were healthy early in the season, like we saw the Bills game, there were schematic issues with the defense that got to be straightened out.
And maybe it's just the timing thing where they got unlucky and the Texans all of a sudden are back the week that they play them.
For sure.
But like, it's just hard to – it'd be easy to explain a 23-20 loss.
Right.
It's hard to explain that, the bottom falling out. And to me, that means like it kind of feels like the last day of school in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, things just feel fucking weird right now.
And everybody deals with injuries. It's about looking ready to play. I always come back to, especially when you're down your QB, like we were talking about last week with the Bengals. Like they've just not looked ready to play. And
No.
I think you see that.
How did
the
Cooper
Ravens
Rush
this
look
year.
when he started for the Dallas Cowboys?
Exactly.
And we make fun of that franchise, that organization.
Right.
Like, what have the Ravens done? They have more talent than that franchise.
Yeah.
And we talk about them a ton, and so I don't know,
So,
man.
Chris, are you saying that the Ravens would benefit from a young rookie playmaker, at quarterback instead of
Yeah, but
Cooper Rush?
where are we going?
No, I think you know what they should go get. You know who they should go get?
Who?
My guy. What's his? God darn it! I can't think of his name. Fuck it.
Isn't that the
I'm
word?
just thinking like
That's it.
You know who they should get?
No,
I don't know either.
I got it back. Because they're
it
probably
could have been a good
Justin
situation
Fields?
for like a young
Taysom Hill.
quarterback to get
Taysom
drafted
Hill.
by the
go get
Ravens.
Taysom Hill.
That's interesting.
Go get Taysom Hill.
behind
Stop the
Lamar.
bleeding. If you're gonna keep Cooper Rush, at least have a package for Taysom Hill, and you can open up stuff. He's not Lamar.
I don't
but
know
he
if they're
can run.
buyers at the deadline, if they're 1-5 or 1-6 or what, like, or 2-6. Like, they might
But
just
you can
have to
finesse
dig
the
their way
Saints.
out of it.
You can finesse the Saints,
And they've
team.
always drafted well. That's one thing we talked about the Ravens. Is like, when's the last time the Ravens were just like a joke?
Never.
They're never a joke because they've drafted well. They found Flacco late in the first, so they were able to stay good. And then
They're just always good on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
they found Lamar late in
Like,
the first.
Right. And then
And so you've never had to like make desperate moves. You start making desperate moves for this team, like, don't fuck your deal up. Like,
And-
like,
and
try to
honestly,
dig your way
like,
out of it the honest way.
honestly,
And if you can't, like,
I'm gonna
might
be
have
up-
to reset.
You know what I'm gonna be
Yeah.
upset next game, bro. If Zay Flowers is your guy right now, they had a route in the play in a game where it looked like Zay Flowers on a one-man route and Cooper Rush just threw it up there and he caught it. I'm like, yo, do that 3 or 4 times a game. Like, set that
Yeah,
up.
try to get it. But the offense really isn't the problem long term.
No, it's
The,
not.
the offense is a problem
Yeah.
in the way they run it, in my opinion, but it's not the problem.
Oh,
The problem
no,
is the defense.
absolutely.
And that's why I think like a Chuck Pagano or somebody in that building, like last year it was Dean Pease, whoever it was, then like change the deal without changing the deal if you're not going to change anything. All right. So anyways, this is the other one. What's up, Cowboy?
No, I was just gonna say Texans offense. Like, are you
I would love to
backing
get
on
to the
them?
Texans offense. So,
Yeah.
the thing that I love, but again, you're playing the Ravens. I want to see the Texans do it a couple weeks in a row.
Right.
And how far have we fallen as the Ravens? And I'm Mr. Love. I love the Texans, right? I still want them to win the South as much as I like the Indy story because I gave them out and I love. No, what do you mean?
It runs through Duval.
Oh,
My bad.
I thought you were saying
No,
cap.
oh,
to,
no,
my
no,
intentions
no.
were cap. Like I'm like I'm lying. So I still want them to compete, get in the playoffs, even if Jags win the South or whatever you want. But like, because I'm a CJ Stroud fan. But I thought this was a very good opportunity for this offense because you think about how little teams play in preseason now, and they have been playing in crisis over the first 3 weeks of the season, first month of the season, where it's like, we can't protect. We got young rookies trying to make plays outside. Joe Mixon's down. We have to lean on different pieces. We have to shuffle the lineup. really think about it. In the NFL now, you don't get a lot of bullets flying, live action, and to get it against the Ravens, I know it kind of sounds like a real backhanded thing to say about the Ravens, but like the Ravens are like playing a preseason game right now. And so you get like Noel gets to get some touches, Higgins or if it's Hutchinson or, if it's, hey, we need to play with this concept, or just CJ Stroud being able to throw out a fucking clean pocket. 40% pressure rate through weeks 1 through 4. Yesterday, 21%. So, and I'm watching CJ Stroud, and he needs a couple weeks of this so he can break the habits. There are times where I'm like, bro, just wait a tick longer. That over is coming open or whatever, like the post or like some late breaking route, like a deeper route. But he's so conditioned to be like, oh, shit, my clock went off because I've been getting tattooed for a year and a half.
Yeah.
He needs a couple weeks like this. The offense needs a couple weeks like this just to stabilize and get the reps together. So they do have some ways they can improve.
The one thing I like about this happening to the Ravens is, and to like a franchise, that this isn't historically how they start the season.
Yep.
It's always funny to see how like their fans act, because fans that are usually at this time of year bragging and boasting and like
I haven't had too many bad experiences with Ravens fans this year. Like a couple years ago when I would say like, hey, listen, I think the Ravens, as good as they are, they're not gonna do it in the playoffs, and like people would say, yeah, but now I think they understand. You can see a couple like fan bases, like me and the Dolphins fan base had like this terrible rivalry, and it was like, what like, are we gonna like, if I go to Miami, am I gonna get jumped? Like that, right? I mean, but I think now, like, I'm seeing those same people kind of come around and being like, man,
Chris, you were right.
Or not Chris, you were right, but everybody, whoever said it was right. And I think the Ravens fans are finally like realizing that like the things that people say about their team might be true. And, I don't think the things that people say about the quarterback are true, because I love the quarterback. But the program, man, like, it can't be that thin of a line between being up 3 scores on the Bills in the opener and losing 40-6 against the Texans, bro, who have looked like a minor league football team.
Yeah.
So, anyways, on half sides of the football. Okay, so the other one was the Commanders getting the win out in L.A. This is a bad loss for the Chargers, but it's like, and you're gonna say, well, why are you treating the
Chargers? They do this though.
No.
Aren't they historically like, it's like, I feel
charging?
Like, yeah, it's called.
Yeah, but this isn't charging. This is not charging.
Yeah,
this is them being. This is them being. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I love the Chargers. I'm in on the Chargers. They're just fucking themselves with penalties. Like, look at Ladd McConkey's touchdown on that punt return was amazing. What'd you say?
It's not just the penalties.
What do you think it is?
It's the offensive line. It's the offensive line. It's the fact. And Charlie's saying injuries. Great, guys. It's the offensive line. It's the offensive line. It's the fact that Justin Herbert, and I saw this, and I want to get to the Commanders because that's kind of how I wanted to start it because they won the game. But we'll start with the Chargers. I saw this stat about 580 hits in 6 seasons for Andrew Luck. And we all know what happened to Andrew Luck. Mm-hmm. Herbert's on pace for 625. Oh, that's from Daniel Popper. Jeez. So, and that's not just 21 pressures, 8 hits yesterday, 45% pressure rate. At one point in the game, you're down to your 3rd string left tackle, your 3rd string right guard, your 3rd string right tackle. Like, there are dudes trying to keep up with the Chargers offensive line at this point feels like I have a learning disability. And there's really nothing wrong with me. It's just too many motherfuckers to keep track of.
It's malpractice.
You're one of the running backs you go get, Najee Harris is hurt. Then Marion Hampton leaves yesterday in a boot. The defense got no pass rush. You're playing zone behind it. You're getting picked apart. The Commanders ran the ball all over this team. Mm-hmm. I just want to say this at the front, and we're going to talk about the Commanders first. We're not going to do this thing where we make it about Justin Herbert. I know the pick at the end of the game wasn't great, and I don't know where that ball would have gone if it wasn't tipped, but it was in harm's way, okay? Not the best play. But they have a chance to go up 17-0, even with everything I said in this game, if Quentin Johnson doesn't fumble the football in the high red.
Yep.
Like, they have a chance to, as bad as things. So when we talk about the Ravens and we talk about the Chargers, they're two terrible losses. One thing is a lot more fixable, but, you know, the reason I got spooked off of picking the Chargers to go to the playoffs like preseason was the injury to Rashawn Slater. And now you're missing Joe Alt. When you get him back, can you be that much better? I don't know. I think they got to make a move for a running back. I think it would help to have a pass rush. It would help to have a tackle or a guard, but like they can't sell the farm just to be buyers at the deadline. So I don't know what they're going to do. Hampton's out too now. I mentioned that. It's a shitstorm, and it's the same predicament on defense that San Francisco has. Lots of zone coverage behind pass rush in there. Mm-hmm. Like we just talked about it with San Fran this morning, Noel. It's the same thing. And you know, and to your point, Beau, big spot, touchdown called back because of roughing. Mm-hmm. You know, Conklin has to sprint on the field on fourth down and then misses the ball. They have 10 guys on the field. They burned 2 timeouts in the first half. So I don't think this is straight charging where they piss down their leg or they you know, Doug comes back in the playoffs from down 27 or whatever it was. It's not like that. It's just like, bro, the team's falling apart. The injuries up front, the offensive line.
A lot of penalties.
Yeah, and penalties.
To your credit, though, Chris, like the kind of offense that they want to run is entirely predicated on having an offensive line that's like has good continuity, can run the ball. You don't have a healthy offensive line or healthy running backs. So it's like your entire offensive game plan each week is going to be different. You know what I mean? They can't get into the offense that they want.
They were low-key shifting the O-line around like how you shift D linemen around. Like yesterday, like Becton was in and out. There was guys popping. They were moving guys around. So, like, that's never a good indication that guys are all on the same page. Like, yes, guys know all these positions and know how to play them, but you're not necessarily thinking like, hey, like I'm going to hop around from guard to tackle today, like for a couple of plays or whatever it may be.
No, dude, you're definitely not. I mean, it's a shit show. So this is a bad loss. Can they get back in it? I don't know. Like, obviously, their hole isn't like the Ravens' hole. Like, they came out of the gates like, oh man, this is the team that's going to win the West, and they looked at full strength like a team that matched up really well against Kansas City, the whole thing. But now where we came into the game being like, how are you going to run the ball? That's the key. Run the ball. Run the ball. They don't throw RPOs. You know, nothing like that. You watch the other team, and this is my segue into the team that won the game, right? They have a dynamic running back. These are 2 damn good quarterbacks. In my opinion, these are 2 guys that, like, when the guard changes, whenever that is, they're 2 top 5 caliber quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels and Justin Herbert. They have top 5 tools. The difference in how the teams are built around the 2 guys right now, it's crazy to me. And I'm not taking anything away from Harbaugh or, you know, the group that they did some good things. And Greg Roman, I got issues with the way he calls games sometimes, but like, look at what they're doing offensively for the Commanders, dude. The Commanders found a running back named Bill Krosky-Merritt in the 7th round who had 1,000 yards over 4 years at like Alabama State or 3 years. Like he was a blip on the radar screen. And then he ends up out west at, you know, I forget where he's at. New Mexico.
And then Arizona.
And he has like 2 200-yard games, and he's at Arizona. And, like, I guess because of eligibility, there's not a lot of tape on him. And they fucking find him. And he is the difference, dude. You watch him play.
Unreal.
And you're like.
Unreal.
I was doing the squint thing with him. I couldn't figure out who he reminds me of. But the dude, the ability to bounce the ball for that offense is so game-changing because they make you defend 53 yards of grass, and I mean the width of the field, as good as anybody. They have a quarterback run game. You know, formationally last year they do it. They'd split doubles out way wide outside the numbers, and, you know, then you'd have basically 3 zones of the field that, like, you just make decisions based on numbers. Like, hey, where are you light? It'd be like run game in the middle, or we'd pop a smoke out here, or like whatever. Mm-hmm. Now you've got quarterback keep. You have a running back that's stressing the opposite edge. He can bounce any play. You saw it in the red zone. He breaks tackles. Derwin James couldn't get him down. You watch their run team. It's miserable to play against this team.
He was making, whether they couldn't set the edge. When he got the ball, like the 2 touchdowns he had.
Right to the edge.
Bro, there's no edge on defense. And as a defender you're watching, you're just like, even if you don't know the play, it's just like, that doesn't look right. But the way he's running and bouncing, getting to the edge.
Yeah.
It just makes everything look just so out of whack that it's just impressive. It's impressive.
And all the guys up front were great yesterday. The guys up front, second level gap scheme stuff, pullers, Biotish on that touchdown, like just they really look like elephants on parade, which was the way we'd call boot, but like I say, like just big fucking guys in space that are just getting their blocks, and they understand. They're a really well coached group. And so like I look at that offense, who again, like case in point, Baltimore. Look at the way Washington looked last week. I know it was the Raiders, but or 2 weeks ago with the backup, and they fucking carved them up because the run game is so multiple. They do so many things. At one point, they were in split gun, and then they moved Jaden Daniels back and moved Bill in Krosky Merritt to quarterback, and so then they're in pistol near with him being the quarterback, and Debo and Jaden go this way, and they're running sort of an option where Bill keeps the ball. I'm like, dude, this shit is awesome.
It's fire. It's so fire.
And then I watched the Eagles offense. I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude?
I think, imagine Jaden Daniels in the Eagles offense.
And they had no wide receivers. They had Luke McCaffrey. Yeah. The motherfucker Jaden Daniels, flat-footed, 8-yard line.
Luke was balling.
But we're talking about the Eagles. The Eagles have AJ Brown. They have DeVonta Smith, because that's what I just referenced.
Yes.
They don't have any of those guys.
And just to add, what you're seeing with the Commies run game right now is a great example of how scheme can help out an offensive line. And the Commies have a really good offensive line, but the way, like when you use misdirection in the run game, it gives the offensive line angles. Like you're talking about getting up to the second level.
Angles, dude.
It puts linebackers in hell, and it really helps those guys, helps the offensive line execute the run game as well.
And here's another thing. I talked about Bill Krosky Merritt. His name's Bill because of the Bill Cosby.
His name is They
named him the Bill thing. There was like a Little Bill cartoon.
Bill,
I think it's from Little Bill. Yeah.
Little Bill.
Yeah, so that's why he's named Bill.
Yeah,
but he's Jacory. So anyways, which is a fucked up way to get your nickname. At some point, don't you want to change your nickname if it was a Bill Cosby related thing?
Bill.
So you end up, bro. You find him. Okay, you ship Brian Robinson off, and people are like, oh fuck.
Or the Commander's selling.
You're like, why would they do that? And then Eckler gets hurt, and they're like, idiots. But like, this guy's got more burst than Eckler. The word on him coming out was he couldn't catch the ball to the backfield. I couldn't tell yesterday. And then on top of that, you bring in Tunsil, who's been fantastic. You bring in Debo, who's on pace for 1,000 yards. And you talk about like owning every ounce of every acre on the field. Dude, you got the deep ball, right, with McLaurin. You got a guy who can catch a deep ball when he's back healthy, a great deep ball thrower, an offensive line that plays together. You've got a screen game. You've got a diverse run game. You brought in a tackle. You brought in a guy for the middle of the field who you can also use as a running back, Debo. And the other one is, Connerly. Connerly's fine. So like, I just feel like every move they've made has been, and this is an Adam Peters tweet here, but like every move they've made has seemed intentional and it's worked.
Yep.
Like everything that they've done, bringing in Debo, bringing in Tunsil, bringing in,
bringing in Von Miller.
Von Miller's playing well, dude.
5 sacks on the defense. So it's just one of those things, complementary offense and defense playing together, regardless if you think a team is good or not. It's very, very important. And the Commanders, they have a system where it works, where their offense, it's plug and play. It's to your personnel. And I just feel like people forget, like, at the end of the day, you're really only as good as your last player on your team, whether you want to think about it that way or not. But we see it too often when the drop-off, if a starter to the next person up is playing and you kind of get upset or get down, and then you see a team like the Commanders that can handle it, or it doesn't look too crazy when the starter isn't there and when it's obvious that the starter he's better than – He's the one that needs to be in that offense running it.
You talked about the defense, Von Miller. I think coming into the game, there's a misnomer about this team where they can't get pressure. If you look at the rates, like they get pressure, and you saw that yesterday. I know that offensive line's all banged up and bad, but Joe Witt, 37% blitz rate. And I asked Nolan, I was like, sort that for me. I think they had a lot of B-gap pressure. They called a ton of 5-man pressures, a bunch of them in the B-gap. And so I think, like, whether you see Dorrance Armstrong, who's not a household name, but I think is a heck of a player. We always talk about him. I think Kinlaw looks a lot better. Kinlaw's at the scene of the crime, right now. Whenever there's a good play in the backfield, like he's in there. He's very disruptive. Jazon Newton played well. Like the whole front, they have a bunch of big physical bodies. And you talk about the linebackers factoring into that. Luvu, Wagner, big dudes. So when you play Washington, you better bring your fucking lunch pail because like they are physical in that front
Buckle your
seven.
chin strap.
Yeah, dude.
Chin strap.
So good football team. Good football team. Looks more like the football team we expected to see. Looks like a team that took a step forward. It is the Chargers in their current state, though. So we'll see.
My man Magic Johnson just every week just rubbing his hands like another good investment, baby.
Yep.
Another great investment. Look at this guy. Daniel's about to make me maybe extra $1 billion in the next 10 years.
Best seat. I'll give you an early best seat. We're going to do mentions later in the show. But how about all the people in Chicago that, like, they thought they won the war the first month of the season this year because of some metrics? And I think Caleb Williams is going to be very good. But, like, did you watch that game yesterday? That's the guy. Like, that, you got to unseat him. So far, he is the best quarterback in the class. The throw he made falling away to ice the game, the throw to Luke McCaffrey, the mustard he can put on any ball anywhere on the field, and what he adds in a different way than Caleb, they're both going to be great. But Caleb is the guy that, like, late in the down makes the magic, falls into the sideline, throws the ball, weird arm angles. Like Jaden Daniels, he's just going to pick up 8-10 yards every scramble. Mm-hmm. Like he's so dangerous and adds to the quarterback run game. Even with that knee brace, he looked good out there.
Shout out to Luke McCaffrey making the big plays, bro. That catch out of the half, that 50-yard bomb, it was absolutely amazing.
That was awesome.
And watching catches like that from wide receivers is why I get mad when wide receivers drop balls.
Right.
Because stretching out to catch a ball, like fully extended and landing on your chest and stomach and being able to catch that ball. Whenever I see other guys just drop passes or it's this, I had to stretch my arms out. It's like, cut it out.
If Luke McCaffrey can do it, so can you. It is time for the flyovers. All right, Detroit and Cincinnati. Beau and Cowboy, what do you think?
Let me start off here, Chris. Let me pop in a fresh zen here for you because
Boy, that sounds good.
on this game.
Zone.
That's why I said fresh zone. Yes. Zone. Yeah, I'm in the zone. All right, so you look at the score of this game. It was 37-24. And on paper, it wasn't that close of a game. I'm going to be honest with you. The Detroit Lions continue to play a winning brand of football against, frankly, what I think is a not very good football team in the Bengals. And, I mean, it was well out of hand until the fourth quarter, until it got pretty interesting. Let me tell you about a couple things I liked from this game. Jared Goff played really well, really consistent. 19 of 23, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. But what I really liked was a passing touchdown from David Montgomery. Everyone talks about Ben Johnson, how creative he was for the Lions. Obviously, he's moved on now to the Bears, but it's fun to see stuff like that. So that's the good stuff from the Lions. A lot of bad stuff from the Bengals early, and that's why that game kind of was out of hand. I mean, it was, 28-3 deep into the third quarter, into the beginning of the fourth quarter, actually. Jake Browning, 3 bad picks. It was funny. I saw a tweet. I think you probably sent it in our group chat, Facts. Browning has Jamar Chase out here with Travis Hunter stats. He had 3 tackles, which was just kind of funny to see that on the stat sheet. But yeah, I mean, early, just a couple bad balls from Browning that the Lions capitalized. I just really like the way that they're playing football. They're a 4-1 football team. I think they're the class of the NFC North. That early loss to the Packers is starting to feel like more and more of a fluke as the season progresses. And it just feels like they're getting really comfortable offensively, getting to, just getting into a rhythm, getting to all this stuff that we saw last year and, the reasons why they were so successful. So, yeah, I mean, I could go through like some of these specific drives and stuff, but I guess continuing to talk about the Lions, I was really impressed with them defensively. Aiden Hutchinson had a sack. He had 2. He would have had a 3-piece, including a safety. 2 of his sacks that he had were negated by penalties.
I saw that. That's all-time bad.
Brutal. Yeah, and you could tell, like, he's a good dude, but, like, you could see how frustrated he was, especially on the safety. The first one was he was lined up in the neutral zone, so it's like, well, fuck. Like,
yeah.
That's on me. Then he had a safety. He got another one, thankfully. But I think the star players defensively for the Lions played really well. Kirby Joseph had another pick. I saw a stat that Kirby Joseph is the 6th player since 2000 with at least 20 interceptions in their first 4 seasons. He's a good player. I was really impressed with Alex Anzalone. He had an interception as well. Browning threw the ball right to him. It was like zone. He's like a hole, he was just right there. Did you see that one, Noel? I saw you nodding. It was tough.
Yeah, I saw the highlight of it.
Just threw it right to Anzalone. But Anzalone was tasked with covering Gesicki a lot in man, which is, that's a big body who's athletic. And I thought Anzalone was great in coverage, really good in space. Did a couple really nice tackles directly after the catch for a short gain, which is, he made it look easy, and that's, when you have a lot of space like that, it's tough. Also, I continue to be really impressed with Jack Campbell. I think it was last week he had blood flowing out of his face and was calling the defense. And it's we interviewed him this summer at camp. Got a little bit of a man crush on that guy. He just is like a fucking football player, man. He was great. He had a TFL on a screen. He punched a ball out on Brown that the Bengals recovered, but he was really good. I think the only things that I'm concerned about for the Lions, a little bit of weakness at left tackle. Their O-line is a little bit banged up. Taylor Decker has a shoulder. Trey Hendrickson capitalized on that. He had a sack on the backup. His name's Giovanni Manu or something.
Manu, yeah. Guy from Canada?
Manu, yeah. I'm not as familiar with his game. I've seen him on tape a little bit, but he struggled a little bit. But Trey Hendrickson had 2 sacks for the Bengals. He had one of them on the backup left tackle and then another one on a tight end on a play action look that's just frankly a mismatch. But for the Lions, they looked really solid. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the end of the game, but worried about their depth at offensive line, just kind of going down the stretch. And then I think the interior of their offensive line is a little bit weaker this season than it has been in the past, just with, Reg now leaving, Zeitler retiring. Thankfully, I think the way they play, their run game and stuff like that, kind of corrects some of those mistakes. Defensively, they need a little bit more D-line depth, but the Lions are good, man. You look at, like I said, you look at this game, 37-24, and I think you might think one thing about it. It was not as close as the score would make it seem. Now, as bad as the 3 picks that Browning had early were, he had a fucking incredible ball to Jamar Chase in the 4th quarter. That kind of started a little bit of a scoring streak for the Bengals. But I saw a stat, I don't really put a lot of stock in this. I thought it was interesting. NFL Next Gen stats had that being the most unlikely completed pass. Touchdown pass was 12%.
I saw that shit.
I'm how do you even fucking calculate that? You know what I mean?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, that seems fake to me.
Just sounds cool.
It's you catch it or you don't.
How do you guys figure that out? It's proprietary. Fuck out of here.
Does Browning's second half, does it give you any confidence at all that they are okay at that position?
Bro, no, dude. Here's the deal. And this isn't to say Jake Browning's a bad football player or any of that shit. To be a quarterback in the NFL, and he's played real meaningful snaps and won games for them and had moments. But bro, it's obvious to me, and I said this 3 fucking weeks ago, and I had people be like, hey, I guess you don't remember 23. I do this for a living. I remember 2023. Okay? I gamble every weekend. I watch every game. I remember everything about 23. Enough to remember that, that shit ain't going to work twice, and this team is not the same team that you had in 23. So, this to me is a public declaration. We talk about public declarations. It's like going to the free speech square, which I'm sure is going to go away soon, in the middle of the city and saying, we think we suck. We're punting on the season. We're not, because you're not making a move. Russell Wilson's out there. Hey, half of Carolina fans thinks Bryce Young sucks. He'd be north of a Band-Aid. I think he's a franchise quarterback. But there's guys out there, man. There's fucking dudes out there. Give a little effort, bro. If you're just gonna do the Browning thing, it's over. It's over. And then that means you need to start trading people.
It's over.
You need to start trading people. You need to start getting something for guys like Trey Hendrickson.
You know what's so funny? In Snapchat, they do those memories, and I looked back a year ago. I was preparing for the show, and I was just looking up graphics of cooked Bengals and how cooked they are because we were going back and forth, and it's just so funny because they're well done already.
They're well done.
They're well
done. They don't have to be. You can take them off the grill.
Yeah,
you can take them off the grill. You just have to go get like somebody who can.
They don't.
I don't know.
Not
Maybe
that franchise. No.
Even if you get a quarterback, the defense is any better. That's my take.
They're super duper cooked, ultra mega cooked.
The player in me won't.
No,
I won't abide by a team just giving up that's halfway decent. Like I understand why.
I see.
You know the Saints might start selling players. Although I told you about them Saints.
Yeah, the Saints are like Saints is good, sir.
Who they? No, who dat?
One more thing I want to say from this game. Really cool to see Montgomery's from Cincy. He threw that pass, and then his sister is paralyzed. Is the only game that she's been able to see. I just thought that was a really cool thing, man. It's fun to see kind of football bring families together like that. He seems like a great guy, great pro, so it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The next game.
Guys.
So how do you feel now? How do you feel now about the Raiders? How do you feel now? You picked them to win the AFC West. Does that make you feel bad?
Listen, I just was going to say, I'm a guy that, hey, if I have egg on my face for this pick, I have egg on my face. I had high hopes. For the Raiders, just like a lot of people do.
I did too.
But Geno cannot play like this. Geno, you can't play like this, bro. Like you can't. You can't. And then their O-line is abysmal right now. They're abysmal, and it's almost the same thing. I don't know if Ashton Genty is a mini Derrick Henry or vice versa, but they're the same player in the sense that they need to be going downhill for their superpowers to be activated. And he is getting hit behind the line every time he gets the rock. He can't even get momentum.
He's in his Michael Myers stance. He barely gets out of his Michael Myers stance.
Bro, barely.
They're hitting the little guy.
And, it's just – it just sucks because you see flashes of that team of doing stuff and you're like, oh, they can be good. But they're not doing the right thing. And then it doesn't make it any better. Bro, the Colts are the real deal. Daniel Jones this year, I don't know.
Best team in the South, right, Facts?
No, not the best team in the South, but they're playing very well. Everything runs through.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Colts now. The Colts, like, who do they match up the worst against in the AFC? Like, who's the one matchup where you're like, man, at full strength, they just can't play with those guys?
Like
nobody.
There's no bad matchup offensive. I would say a team that can run the ball really well.
That's the one. I think that the Bills could go on a lot of long drives against that team. But I honestly, dude, I don't know if you're done on the Raiders.
Oh, they're just.
The egg.
He's like, let me look at the piece of paper to see if there's anything else bad I can say about him.
I got one more. Geno, you're playing bad right now, and you're a vet quarterback.
It's the WWE promo.
You just fucking own up to that shit, and you never sell your guys out. Guys could have fucking sold you out so many times.
Who'd he sell out?
He sold out Dante Thornton, saying that, like, basically.
Did he Rodgers him?
Insinuating that he doesn't understand cover 2 yet. And I just feel like as a NFL wide receiver, don't fucking say that shit about me. Whether it's true or not. Don't say that shit in the media. Like, stop. Like,
what if Shakir was like, Josh doesn't understand cover 2 yet?
Bro,
because that's the rumor about Josh, that he's just out there playing.
And but if that's
it works.
True,
you don't bro, if that's even if they know that about him, you don't like go out in public and be like, you
don't do that.
He thinks cover 3 is like a 3-man rush or something.
Bro, like, you just don't do that. And I don't like that. I know it's all frustrations, and I mean he had a tip. Geno's it just sucks for Geno. He has a lot of interceptions, I feel, in his career that, quote unquote, not really your fault. If they get tips and overthrows, that type of thing happens. But this was a bad loss for the Raiders all the way around.
It was bad. I mean, 40-6 is so not competitive, it's crazy. And honestly, there's two games. There's 2 games looking back at this slate where I'm like, bro, it was almost free money, and I second-guessed this game. I thought for some reason that maybe, like, the Raiders would be able to run the football.
Me too.
Okay, okay. This game makes losing 40-6. Like the Raiders are now marked as one of those teams where like we don't know where the bottom is yet. And I said this coming into last week was Geno looks like he has a confidence problem that's so bad that the people in the organization know it. And after he throws a pick, it's that kind of like, come on, man, move past it. Like, we need you. Like, we don't have a choice. We paid you $75 million or whatever it is. This is going to be a wild deal if this is what you're going to get.
I feel like him saying that about Thornton, about like a young guy, like I feel like that's a confidence issue. Like,
maybe so.
I feel like
maybe so.
Like I don't know.
But talking about the Colts and like what's good about them, their offensive line. I don't know where you rank them, but they got to be up near the top of the league. I thought one guy on this team needed to be singled out today. I mean, Quentin Nelson is a freak of nature. I watched him escort a back to the edge from the opposite guard spot in the red zone where he had to go around a triple wing. This guy ran like 40 yards.
He's a weapon.
And he's a refrigerator. He's a refrigerator with like a motor.
Yeah.
You know, like
moving 4-6.
I mean, they went dive pitch and he's out on the edge. I mean, it's nothing new, but he's fun to watch. But Braden Smith gave up one pressure on the day. I know he did a couple things early in the game that had some fans a little bit like he did. I didn't see the TV copy. But from what I saw, and you know how I feel about Max, I haven't seen a guy block Max with less help. Like they left him alone a lot of times, and he's a very good tackle, dude. Mm-hmm. He's very underrated. This offensive line's underrated, and I think Steichen's really feeling himself. He threw the ball to the big tackle in the red zone, the big tight end. He threw it to 79 in the red zone, and then you got that Tebow play from Warren where he's kind of like, what'd they say about that on TV? Because on tape it was crazy. Like you knew there was a run pass option attached to it, but I just have never seen that with the tight end getting the ball in the flat. And then like waiting, and the corner didn't bite, but he was going to throw that fucking ball.
Throw it, and he didn't.
I mean, Shane's just remember a couple weeks ago when Shane, they said like after the media pool was done, he was like, pull up a chair, guys, turn the cameras off. He was like, there was a run last week that if we can get this same look against Tennessee, we're gonna, the back's gonna hit his head on the goalpost, and it was basically like weak lead. and then the next week they ran it, and he was like, yeah. So anyways, as I was saying, and so Steichen's really feeling himself right now, and I don't fucking blame the guy because he had to sit through Anthony Richardson last year,
man,
and all the people saying you suck and the whole thing. Good for him. Also, it was a big Downs day, wasn't it? Josh Downs,
yeah, Pittman, everyone. Daniel Jones, like he looks like the MVP right now.
He looks like a dog.
Honestly, he looks like what an NFL quarterback should be, whereas all your weapons on offense, they look good when you're out there. And I just feel like that offense right now, they look good when Daniel Jones is leading the charge.
85-15, Nolan. The 85-15 rule, or whatever it is, however you want to frame it. 85% of players are guys that like it. It depends on what system they're in. They can look great. They can look pretty average. They can look whatever. There's a variability of outcomes. I wouldn't even say 15. I'd say 5 to 3% of the players in the league are good anywhere.
Truly transcend.
Yep. There are guys in the top 100 that are going to fluctuate based on where they're at.
Absolutely.
So he's a perfect example of that to me.
One downfall for him. Not good at 2-point conversions right now.
Oh, really?
They lost their kicker early in the game, so they were forced, even though they're blowing them out.
And he's done for this season, Spencer Schrader's.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And so they had to go for 2 every single time. And did they? Maybe they got 1, but they just, I don't know if they can't find the right play calling. But that's the only time where you're just like, dang, Daniel Jones, like you can't get a 2-point conversion in.
What were you gonna say, Noel?
I was just gonna add. Obviously, there's a lot. The Colts offense is doing really well right now, but the balance of this offense is what's truly elite. 2 offenses in the league rank in the top 5 in both EPA per rush and EPA per pass. It's the Colts and it's the Lions.
They are literally the fucking AFC Lions.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I think everybody has a healthy respect for that offense in Detroit, but they're right there in the same level.
But they're not. Now, I want to say this to Detroit fans: they're not you yet.
No,
they probably no one ever will be.
I always loved this. I always loved this defense, and I think this is a defense. Zaire Franklin is like we talk about him, and people like talking about like week to week until this year, the Colts aren't really, I feel like, widespread talked about. So you might not know who Zaire Franklin is or some of these guys in their defense. But Latu, he had to pick this.
I love Latu,
Me
dude.
too,
He's got
bro.
two. He's got 2 picks on the year.
On the year, no, he
Yeah,
just had one this
Latu.
game, and
Yeah.
that defense. I love swarming defense, and not all the defenses in the NFL have that culture where if you look at the tape at the end of a tackle, you're gonna see 8 to 11 guys in the frame, and like you don't always see that. And like me as an old defensive guy, I love seeing that. And the Colts.
Well, their D
defense,
coordinator is a guy that probably wasn't the problem at his last stop.
Right. I think there's some things they're working out in the run phase. I'd actually be interested in your guys' perspective on this, as all the D linemen in the room. Last season, and really the previous regime under Gus Bradley, these guys were one gappers just playing upfield. Under Lou Anarumo, they're doing a little bit more like the block absorber, like not quite fully two gapping, but just absorbing blocks as opposed to blowing up the blocking schemes. And I think, for Defoe, Grover, those guys, they're just kind of still adjusting to that. You see they're getting used to that technique.
That's a new
how
deal?
Big is the adjustment?
Yeah, it's a big adjustment. It's a big adjustment.
Huge adjustment. It took me 3 years at Virginia to like really learn like how to two gap the right way and take that mentality where you're just like, but I could just run through his face. Like I could just get off the ball real quick. And it's more about just playing the defense, doing the right thing. Every play isn't like your play to make. And sometimes you just have to do the right thing within your job. So the linebackers and the safety.
The coaches just have to give you a healthy amount of attaboys for stacking blocks.
That's really what it is.
Because then if you get the attaboys,
exactly.
All right, so we'll give attaboy right now to the Dallas Cowboys. We don't need to spend all day here, but the Cowboys. The only thing I noticed, guys, is the Cowboys had 100-yard They had a 100-yard rusher and a 100-yard receiver in one half. That's never happened in Dallas. Not with all the. That's from Mike Leslie on Twitter. Not with all the storied. Well, I don't want to say it's a storied franchise.
I can't wait till CD Lamb gets back because Pickens is gonna blow up. If they move Pickens back to the 2 and not the 1, I can't wait to see how he reacts. Good problem for Dallas to have, maybe.
I don't know. I'd kind of like drawing CB2.
Diggs and learn how to emotionally mature or whatever that he said.
Yeah,
sure.
Second to none emotional maturation.
If CD is smart, he'll have to be the one to do that because Pickens, no way.
Yeah.
But Dax is playing really good. Like,
I can talk about this game for a little bit if you want, boys. But Chris, that rusher Javonte Williams, he's a dog. I mean, we all know that. I absolutely love the Dallas Cowboys. 16 carries for 135 yards, a 66-yard rush on a trap, P&10 trap right before the half. And like, I could talk about this game a lot, but that's like everyone talks about doubling up, before halftime, score, get the ball back. Dude, the fucking Cowboys tripled up. I'd have to go into the play-by-play to see exactly what it was, but they scored. It was 17-3. The Jets are the Jets, okay? I think they burned literally 12 to 15 seconds off the clock. They get the ball back. And then I'm like, because they have Aubrey, so I'm watching this game. I'm like, okay, if they get to the 45, they're probably gonna kick it, and they're good. And I think that's what they were thinking offensively too. So they run a trap for 66 yards and then throw a touchdown to Jake Ferguson, Wisconsin legend, for another touchdown. But Jake played well. He had 2 touchdowns, 7 receptions for 49 yards. Honestly, the Cowboys looked pretty good. Dak looked very comfortable. I think the thing that I was impressed with most watching them offensively is it seemed like a more traditional pro-style offense, which is a little bit of a new iteration for them, at least in 2025. A lot more quarterback under center, a lot more 12, 21 personnel. I had to look up this dude, Hunter Lepke, who's basically their Y, their fullback, more of a U, I guess, actually. So I just kind of like how they're doing that right now with, CD's hurt. They've been a little banged up. I think they have 4 out of that 5 offensive linemen are injured. Steele, their right tackle, is the only guy who is healthy. So I was really impressed with the way they went to this pro-style offense. Dak, quarterback under, he seemed pretty comfortable. Dished the ball around, ran the ball, play action. But dude, this motherfucker Javonte Williams runs hard as shit. I gotta find the exact stat, but it's like
Broncos alum.
Yeah, I was about to be
Dude,
like, where'd he come from, cowboy?
I didn't respect it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Dude, you don't remember
he had,
22 or
he had like
whatever?
90 yards after
Yeah, they had a
contact.
crazy year, and then he was injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be the next guy. Maybe he's got a
I
shot.
mean, shoot, in Dallas, he might be.
Dude, Shoddy does a great job. This is Beau before we get to the next thing, like we should praise Shoddy every week until there's not a reason to, because I think like the public at large probably wrote this team off, including myself. I mean, I wrote this team off. And I Shoddy was a coach in St. Louis when I was there, and I like the guy, and I'm just happy for him because he said it before the year, like everywhere I've been, we run the ball. And I was like, oh, this could blow up. And it hasn't. They've been running the rock. So the Jets, man, we don't need to spend too much time on the Jets.
Other than they're the only team. They're the only team averaging more yards per rushing play, 5.4, than yards per passing play.
Yikes, dude.
Yikes. But I think that's kind of an indication of like, oh, Justin Fields is, as a quarterback, exactly what we all thought Justin Fields is.
It's like the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking about? Is
every year you're like, this is the year for Fields.
I thought he would take the next step, but I don't know that if he was, it would ever be here.
You remember when they made that play against the Buccaneers and the coach? It was doing this, thinking they were
Aaron
about
Glenn,
to Glenn was doing that dance, thinking that, hey, that game was over.
Uh-huh.
Man, life comes at you fast, right?
It does.
Well,
I
saw that like Aaron Glenn's the only head coach for the Jets that's like 0-5 in his first year. And I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible? I feel like the Jets are 0-5.
Yeah, that was a crazy stat, dude. He joined like a group of 3 coaches, like
Rich Kotite was in there.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, damn, did they just forget half the? I feel like every year this is the Jets. Okay, next one, the other New York team, the Giants. Now I just want to take a minute, take a victory lap, because I did say that I did give out the Saints. I said they were going to win this week, and they won. I know you guys are going to talk about this game, but I come into this game, I came to watch the D-line, the Giants D-line. Really, everybody's like, I want to see Jackson Dart. I want to see the Giants D-line, and they blow up a lot of plays in the run game. I mean, they play on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Love it. But I stayed watching Fuaga, the right tackle for the New Orleans Saints. I know this is a very niche thing to talk about, like how many Saints fans are in here right now, how many Saints fans who watched Fuaga play yesterday are in here right now. But I thought he showed a lot of growth, man, from like week 1 to this week. And I know, he's not a rookie, but, Bosa got after him a little bit the week before. But I thought he was really good yesterday against a really challenging group. You know what he's doing, Nate? He's doing the whole outside hand punch, stay horizontal thing, which Abdul Carter doesn't understand yet.
Yep.
You get a guy like him. I love Abdul Carter because I almost messaged him, was like, bro, like, hey, so when you get that set right there, dude, because I wish I could, but I don't have that ability. But like, if I was you, what I would do is you got to widen out and get that guy's shoulders turned, because he's just doing this. And he's never going to be challenged inside until he turns, and then he's got to anchor that inside shoulder. He didn't quite get there, but I just want to say, whoever's coaching the offensive line in New Orleans has done a pretty good job. I thought both those tackles kind of survived yesterday. That was fun to watch if you're into that. So, yeah, good for him. Maybe an STL Memorial Award.
Yeah, and shout out to Spencer Rattler, his first win as an NFL quarterback. Well, he's 1-10. I mean, I feel like 0-10 is bad as it is, but 0-11 just sounds way worse than
infinitely worse.
1-10, and I'm just glad that he got a taste of victory. I feel like if you're an NFL quarterback, not everyone even gets that opportunity to start a game, to let alone get a win in a game. So for him having the opportunity and being blessed in a system and a franchise that's so bad that he's gotten 11 chances to start, I'm glad he got one. He got one under his belt.
Saints O-line coach Brendan Nugent.
Yeah, good job, Brendan Nugent. I mean, good job at least this week with the game plan and coaching these guys up. And you talk about Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler was a rookie quarterback that they drafted in the first round. What do you think people be saying about him? Like, there'd be some intrigue about this guy. You'd be like, is he the guy? that's the thing about being a quarterback, especially and being picked in a certain spot, is like, they might not ever give you a shot at it. Now, I'm not saying he's perfect. There's times where he doesn't see the things that are right in front of him. Like Olave a couple times is like, hey, I'm right here. But for a young player in crisis, which is what he's in, and he's been in half the time, like, he's playing fine, man.
Absolutely. And shout out to him, because in the media last week, he was like, the Giants don't do as much stuff as the other teams. They don't disguise as much, and that could have been bulletin board material. But he went out there and got a win.
Well, he backed it up. And Dart.
Jackson Dart, small hands, man.
Is that what you had yesterday?
Small hands, man. His aura caused that fumble. Did you see the fumble he had?
Yeah.
I only watched
the Giants offense.
Giants defense.
Giants offense in this game, it deserves a Hemingway game. Honorable mention nod. They turned the ball over on 5 consecutive possessions. You could actually call it 6 if you include the turnover on downs to end the game.
You could, or you could say, which I think Jackson Dart in his defense, that was an arm punt on 4th and 6.
It was. That totally was.
And like, why are you throwing the ball there? Because you're at like the 40, 50-yard line and it's 4th and 6 and you threw it down into the low red. But the other shit.
Yeah, the other shit was bad. Fumbles were bad. But, yeah, I mean, and then just one more, to give the Saints their flowers one more time. Kellen Moore, first win. I haven't watched these guys on tape the last few weeks, and it's been tough to make this argument because they've been winless going into this game. And Seattle again got away from them. Buffalo got away from them. But they've played like a competent team, like a well-coached team. And it just ultimately is this roster is just not – there's just holes. The guard spots on offense. There's a lot of holes on defense that they haven't been able to overcome. But I think Kellen Moore's clearly helped Rattler elevate his game. And Brandon Staley, I mean, defensively – they're playing. You look at like the major metrics: EPA per play, success rate, yards per play. Those kinds of metrics. They're a league average unit. And if you told me coming into the season that group that you're looking at on paper would be league average, I'd have been like, damn, that's a well coached group.
Well, classic. Hey, everybody thinks. Hey, buy a failed head coach that was a D coordinator low. Every time, dude.
Right.
Every time. They didn't forget how to fucking coach defense. So good for him. As much as we gave him shit as a head coach, we were just yelling at the head coach, Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one, Carolina and Miami here, Cowboy.
Yeah, quickly, Bryce Young, like tough first quarter.
Yeah.
But boy, does he have some fun throws.
I'm telling you.
2 4th downs. You've been talking about it a while. 2 4th down. The conversion of the touchdown. That throw to Leggett where he just threw it at the pylon.
How about Leggett catching the ball and making a play on the ball?
Back. He learned something. I know he said he didn't learn anything when he was out.
Yeah.
Leggett did those last 2 weeks, but he learned something. Now, I mean, you can argue that the Miami's defense is like bottom of the league, which they are in points per drive, scoring rate per drive, etc. But Bryce Young not only bouncing back from that like kind of pee down your pants fumble that he had, he just kind of went outside and the edge popped around and was like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
And Bryce was like, oh, you could have it. Bouncing back from that and that bad pick, like that shows you something. If you're the Carolina Panthers fan, I think you should be, at least build something around him. And what's wild?
I think so too, man.
What's wild, you see Adam Thielen in Minnesota not even being used. And it's like, why the hell? Like after, I think Adam Thielen played 20% of the snaps yesterday, and he's dropped since Addison came back. It's like, why would you have? That could have really stunted Bryce Young's, next step.
Yeah.
And it looks like it had a little bit, but he has the throws. That 4th down conversion that he rolled right, pump faked, stopped, peeled back, and dodged somebody, and then his arm was up and ready to fire in what felt like
He's got a really quick release.
Yep.
He's tough. He, people worried about he would get like just killed back there, and he has. But because of his offensive line, like it's not. His vision's good. He sees the field, dude. Like I also think like for a guy he's already died.
Yeah.
You think about like he's been benched. He's been called a bust. He's been like look at half the league feels like they're retread quarterbacks. There's something to a guy that's already died, man.
Right.
He's not afraid of dying again, dude. Like and
what is it? What is dead will never die.
What is dead will never die.
Winter's coming.
Yeah. Well, and so for Bryce, man, like just keep trucking, man. I think most of the football world knows that it hasn't been an easy setup for the dude. Now there are some people who just stuck to the take that he's just a terrible football player. I'm trying not to let my confirmation bias get in the way, but I don't see how that could be true when I watch the tape. I'm like, and there are people taking shots at him like every chance they get, but like, you know, I think things will improve if he can hang around long enough to see him improve. Now the other guy, or the other guys, the Miami Dolphins, you know, I felt for I said this last week. I feel for Mike McDaniel. I don't know when the Reaper's coming, but he's coming, and when he comes, Howie Roseman needs to reach right out. I'm just telling you, and say, hey, why don't you come up here? Don't need you to install an offense or nothing, but I need you to sit in for the rest of the year and help us develop our
be the cool guy.
Our way of doing. Well, it ain't be a guy that can scheme some shit up, dude. Because what he's been able to do in that offense with a quarterback who, in my opinion, is the word this morning we used was limited. But like, what could he do for Jalen Hurts, who at times I feel like doesn't know where to go with the football? How do you scheme things up for him that, you know, it is one bang, bang, 1-2 read, and get rid of the football because timing's an issue up there? I know this is like a wild idea, but like everybody's thinking about it in Philly. Like, what do you do about the offense? And if you're going to bring somebody in, like, I feel like he'd be a pretty good consultant to have in the building whenever that happens. So, and then I could be friends with him because I've always liked him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go up to Philly and be like, yo, Mike, what the fuck was going on down there, huh?
And he can finally be like, hey,
and the whole
man.
thing.
I used to see those tweets and I couldn't agree with him, but you were on to something.
Anyways, dude, I feel for that dude. And also the Rico Dowdle Bowl, dude. That guy in number 5, he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I texted Darren Bates last night after the game. I'm like, he looked like Steven Jackson out there, bro. He was just like fucking every time he touched the ball, he made something.
206 rushing yards, 105 over expected, 9 yards per carry, 92 yards after contact.
But any struggling team, if you're trying to get a win, just gotta run the fucking ball. That's gonna make it a lot easier.
No question. All right, fellas, that was the flyovers. Do you need me to?
And we're gonna hear some people from the phone lines.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So we've got a couple good ones, some Colts, some Lions, and we're gonna vibe. Thanks for calling in. Thanks to all those people who leave us voice.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up, boys? Colts fan Casey here. I'm trying not to overreact, okay? But the last time the Colts were this good, I was, selling dime bags in junior high. So kind of freaking out here, and I'm looking to get your take on this. Is it really just Daniel Jones who has pushed us over the edge? Like, it just seems fucking crazy to me that for the past 10 years we have been this shitty, and then all of a sudden Daniel Jones was the key. So curious to get your thoughts if that really is the case. Then also kind of a stupid question. I've been hearing rumors that we will or should play Anthony Richardson as a tight end. Can the team just do that? I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid question, but can the team just say, hey, you were drafted 4th overall as a quarterback, but you're now going to be a tight end or whatever position they want?
Well,
just curious. Thanks, boys.
In the room. I'm talking to the guy like he's in the fucking room, dude. I'm like, well,
Is that how they got Taysom? And Taysom always did everything when he was at BYU.
I think Taysom's always a do everything guy, or he was a quarterback and then they made him a do everything guy.
But he was a little wild. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But BYU, no. But I do think, like, when I look at Anthony Richardson, and you got to tread carefully talking about this because you don't want anybody to think that like you're gonna like unquarterback him and skill position him, because we've been there where like it felt like to be frank. It felt like for a while, every black quarterback that came in the league, like some white guy was like, he's a wide receiver. Like, so that we're not doing that, okay? But what I am doing is I'm looking at his big SOB who, to me, I wouldn't want to tackle.
Did you see the play at this game where the ball came back to him? So he caught his own pass and then got a first down.
That's the type of shit, dude, where it's just like.
Whole pile of people.
If I was Shane Steichen, I'd call him into my office and I'd throw my Gatorade at him real quick and be like, catch. And if he caught it, I'd be like, you're a fucking tight end, dude.
Can I just say no? He's not gonna make a good tight end. A quarterback that taps himself out after one play does not have the toughness to play tight end in the NFL.
I mean, we don't know, dude. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Dude, how many? I used to have to deal with tight ends. They're not tough.
They're tougher than quarterbacks.
I would just say
I don't know. I don't know if they are depending on the quarterback, bro. Like, go watch Anthony Richardson's Florida tape and tell me he's not tough. Like, whatever happened where he pulled himself out of the game, I think maybe he took the shit too literal when they're like, hey, if you're tired, just pull yourself out. And he was like, all right. And then, like, he fucking did it.
I would love to see the stuff Steichen could scheme up with him.
Oh.
And for Richardson, as you consider this, I'm looking at Taysom Hill's career earnings of $52.6 million. He can make a real career out of
He ain't going to make
this.
$52 million going to Sean McVay's quarterback revamp camp. Dude, like,
Correct.
now he might. Maybe Sean McVay can save him. I think that might be, like, the more likely career trajectory. To answer, I'm not saying that he gets saved, but that he goes somewhere to try to recoup his career.
No, but
before he's like, yeah, I'm going to play a different position.
Bro, but if you want to play, you gotta know, hey, Daniel Jones is balling right now. I'm not getting on the field unless something drastic happens. So if I want to play and I'm cool.
I know, but this isn't even on the table. It's just a hypothetical. But this guy, the question is, like, why is it taking so long? It's taking a long time because now they have the right coach with the right scheme. If you'll remember a couple years ago, you're on the footstep of the playoffs and basically playing in a playoff game, and Minshew can't make the throw in the flat. And that, to me, was indicative of, like, the whole thing, which is, like, they've been after this quarterback thing for the better part of a decade since Andrew Luck. Really longer than a decade now, maybe. I've lost track. But they tried the veteran quarterback thing, which is just a Band-Aid, the Phillip Rivers thing, the Matt Ryan thing, the Carson Wentz thing. And now you took a big stab at a quarterback, and it just blew up in your face. And honestly, it took trying to find, like, the right plug-and-play.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is the right plug-and-play for this play caller. He's athletic. They can do read option stuff, but you're not, like, selling the farm for a guy that you're not sure if he can, throw the football, underneath, which is what Richardson was. You get all the mobility stuff. You see the play he made in the red zone yesterday, that throw on the run he made?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude, that's awesome.
And I think the offense was much better set up, like the situation, than probably the greater football world appreciated. Like, we gave the offensive line flowers today. Everybody knows about Jonathan Taylor. This receiver room, I was saying this coming into the season.
Deep.
I mean, I think you talk about teams who are contending for a division around the league, Buffalo, Seattle, Denver. I think they would trade their receiver room for what Indy has in theirs if that opportunity presented itself. It's a really good group.
For sure. And, this summer, doing those breakdowns, you're like, why are they flying under the radar so much?
Exactly.
All it's going to take is a retread quarterback to play better in his second place. Like, look around the league. So Shane's a good play caller. Who's the next caller?
Good morning, Green Light. It's 5 a.m. Currently rolling my first wake and bake blunt. The Eagles need to find some consistency on offense. The whole hot as a fried pan to cold as ice, it's not going to cut it to make it back-to-back. That, and they need to get healthy ASAP. That is all.
So we need to call this guy back, make sure he's doing all right.
Next call.
Roll the damn Broncos. Let's go. We had a really, really fun game there. And I'm going to get zooted and watch the Naked Gun.
He's high.
Let's ride.
Watch the Naked Gun.
I like Broncos fans, bro. I like them. Like, you're my foray into Broncos fans, so I kind of I'm biased, but, like,
the best.
That was great. He left a 5-second voicemail. I could tell he was high, and he's like, I'm off to watch Naked Gun.
Yeah, I'm happy.
That was a great call-in, dude.
Didn't rub it in.
No, I mean, like,
it was great.
Because he's happy, because he lives, like, someplace that he's happy. There's 300 days of sunshine. Dispensaries everywhere.
He's probably not attached to outcomes like most fans are.
Right. Well, I'll just go outside. Oh, my team lost? I'll just go outside.
Right.
Have you tried that? You got any other ones? Or can we
One more.
finish with
Chris,
mentions?
boys, this is Mike calling you from beneath the beautiful blue skies of Michigan. However, there's not a ray of sunshine to be seen, as Dan Campbell's huge nuts are once again blocking out the sun. I remember all of the talk preseason about the losing of coordinators and how this is going to require a step back for my Lions. Not the case, boys. As it turns out, I think Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were nothing but benefactors of the huge nut man himself, Dan Campbell.
Huge nut man.
I think we're going to see over the years Campbell's coordinators get elevated, get jobs, only to fail, much like one Hoodie had done in the past. Let's give credit to DC. He should have won Coach of the Year the last 2 seasons. If he can bring the Lions to a North victory, an NFC North Division title, this man deserves this Coach of the Year prize as well as the last 2 retroactively. Love the show, boys. You guys do a great job.
We appreciate you, big dog, and maybe get one of those like seasonal depression lamps because it looks like Dan Campbell's nuts are going to be like blocking out the sun in the next 4 to 6 months. But honestly, I hear what you're saying. I mean, you should be excited. This is what the Lions look like. You know, like, do I think they're the exact same offense as last year? No. I think when they're stressed, they will look a little bit different at times. But they still are top of the class in the NFC. They're right there with the other NFC elites. Am I going to renege on, like, the Packers winning division? No, because that would be some pussy shit. I still think the Packers can beat them. I really do. It's funny because it's like, you know, people come in and they're like, well, how do you feel now? I'm like, because you beat the Bengals? Like, I expect you to do that.
Go.
So I think the Lions look great. I think you should be excited. And Jared Goff, he's surgical. He really is surgical. If you can keep him upright, he is fucking surgical with this bitch shake. And yeah, Ben Johnson isn't the only thing you had cooking up there last year. It's kind of like, you know, like you look at Kansas City, they've got when they're going to be at full strength, they've got Xavier Worthy who stretches the field. They've got they've got Rashee Rice. He plays a role in the offense. You've got fucking. Who's a third damn receiver? I'm forgetting.
Thornton?
Thornton, who kind of came on this year. Like, a lot of people would – you go down the list of elite teams in the NFL, a lot of people would kill to have the toys that they have. 2 elite backs, an elite tight end, a field stretcher, an elite Hall of Fame quality slot, in my opinion, Hall of Fame quality. And then you had Tesla. A lockdown tackle at right tackle. You mentioned the issues you got left tackle. They have like an assortment of players on this team. It's like, bro, why is anybody shocked they're still good? I don't know if they're going to look the same in every situation, but they're still good. It's about the players. It's about the culture.
And defense is playing great too.
Yep.
And as a Broncos fan, I just want to say you're welcome to all Lions fans because, you know, we talked to Dan Campbell and he said, you know, I needed to have a plan after Ben Johnson. And I think he had this plan a while. He just told John Morton to go to Denver to learn from Sean Payton. He was like, hey, just go over there and learn from Sean.
Yeah, there's some espionage.
Yeah. And we were like, you know, hey, here's how to do it. So John Morton is, you know, you're welcome from Broncos fans.
All right, so it's time for the mentions. We can get out of here. Let's do that real quick.
BetMGM.
Oh,
BetMGM moments.
I've got 5-10 callers for you guys. All right, hold on. This football season, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at first touchdown scorers. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Be sure to take advantage of this offer, and if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. BetMGM, make it legendary.
BetMGM moments. Best flight, fellas.
Best flight.
Bro, there were 5-hour flights that were all good.
Yeah. Well,
like, think about it. It was the Commanders flew like 5 hours. The Bucs flew like 5 hours. The Titans flew like 4 hours. The Texans flew like 4 hours because Houston's fucking, it's down there. And then Denver flew back like 4 hours. All these home teams got smacked by teams that had to travel. this week. So you guys pick. I couldn't figure it out.
You missed the longest one in
Exactly.
there, Chris.
Jordan
Well, it's the
Minnesota
Vikings. It's the Vikings.
Yeah.
Finally coming home, baby, after a win. That's my best flight.
And they fly good, too.
My best flight specifically is going to Jordan Addison. Being benched the first quarter, like the type of nerves you probably have and what you're feeling about that long-ass flight home with people from your organization just looking at you like you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out there, get the game-winning touchdown, and that makes that flight that much better.
Yeah.
You can sleep well on that
He can
flight
sleep
home.
well on the flight. He can sleep well on the flight.
Throw the Pats in there too. Best flight, quick one.
Short one.
Probably a couple cold sodas for
Night
the boys
game.
on that ride.
The rare night game, you don't get back at like 5 in the morning. You
Right.
get back at like 2 in the morning.
Real fast. What do you guys get back at 5 a.m. after? What do you do?
Dude, when we went to Arizona, when we'd fly to like New England, we opened with Arizona in 2016. We go out there, we beat them. Wild game, 60-minute ball game. Fucking, we pull into the practice facility. It is bright light out. It's like 7 in the morning, dude. And, you know, if you don't like sleeping on the flight home, like, you're fucked. If you can't sleep on a plane, you're fucked. That's why I'm so anti, like, I think they should rethink it to where, like, if you're doing a West Coast trip, let the guys stay over Sunday night, give them a curfew, get a good night's sleep, fly back. But the coaches can't wait to get home to break the film down. And the owners don't want to pay for another night at the hotel.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And they got to treat us like children because we're all going to get in so much trouble.
Well,
So,
worst flight.
Vegas, easy. 40-6, getting on the plane after that shit. You like your head's down, you got your headphones on. If Pete Carroll's walking around chewing gum in the aisle, like no eye contact, just a bad deal, dude. People get in fights on flights like that.
No kidding.
Seriously.
No, I know, baby. I got one. Giants, but more specifically, Cam Scatterbo. 15 carries. The way he runs, you know, he gets on a flight, or he's just
That's so good.
just stiff, just
Yeah.
hurting.
Yeah.
Gets off that flight waddling like he's 75 years old. Worst flight. Giants dropping an L, and Nola flying back. Cam Scatterbo stiff as a board.
Stiff as a board. He fucking laid Granderson out. I think it was Granderson. And Granderson was like, I think he tried to help Granderson up, and Granderson like flipped out. He was like, no, you're not going to embarrass me like this.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Put your
And
hand
Granderson
down.
had an all-time bad day. I'm not saying he played bad. He had a sack
Yeah.
that they called back because he hit him too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Back,
brutal
right?
call,
Or
dude. Some of
that's
those.
the one.
Yeah, and then you get like pancaked by Peyton Hillis's ghost, bro. Anyways,
Worst
okay.
flight, Mike McDaniels and the Dolphins. McDaniels.
But you're coming back to Miami though, so
Yeah, but on the hot seat, you lose your best wide receiver last week, and then you go and you lose to the Panthers this week. Couldn't be a good flight for him going back.
Worst flight, I'm saying, end of this week, the Cardinals have to fly to Indy. I think that building's just bad vibes right now, and you're going into a buzzsaw at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Ooh.
That flight's going to be kind of grim, a grim ride there.
Preemptive bad flight, huh?
Yeah.
Preemptive.
Bevel Conway.
Bevel Conway was
I mean,
it was
come on.
easy. It's almost like you got to give it out to another game. So what's the best looking non-Tampa Seattle game?
I got Bevel Conway. I got Commanders versus Chargers. The powder blue and the all
Commanders got to fix their shit, bro.
all whites.
They could have great uniforms,
Yeah,
but they don't.
I
I don't play with them on Madden because of that.
That's hilarious. You know you can change jerseys, right?
Oh, I know, but they don't even have a good alternate.
Oh.
Like it's crazy, dude.
I like the cold fronts. I mean, they're not going to like to wear them anymore because of the loss, but
Yeah.
the silver detailing, really nice touch. And you know who hates them is any team that's playing the Bills in the next few weeks. And the QC guys trying to break down that
You
tape.
can't
Got
see.
no idea
Yeah.
who's who.
That's what
No
Alan.
idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Bevel.
So I actually think Indy and Vegas was real solid.
Oh,
Be-
I got a
Bevel.
good one, actually.
I got an anti.
Actually,
Well,
I didn't get my bevel out.
Oh,
there.
go ahead. Sorry.
Give it a little hot take. I mean, it's clearly the cream skulls. They were fucking buttery. But I actually like the Jets black. It kind of does something for me. I mean, besides like, the quality of play, the unis were pretty tight. I liked them.
Those Cowboys uniforms weren't bad either. That was like a low key little Bevel Conway game there.
Yeah, kind of like that one.
Anti-bevel.
Oh, anti-bevel. Kevin Patullo's hat. Can you pull that up for the people? Kevin Patullo wears his hat too tight, which could explain the restriction of blood flow to his brain. Yesterday I took a picture of this. He has that shit on probably the. You see, it's so tight that there's room.
2 snaps.
Yeah, it's like 2 snaps, bro. And you could probably. I mean, you could probably fit your whole hand up in that space above his head. Like, he is. I don't know if you need to wear your hat this tight,
Somebody
sir.
replied to your tweet and said, "Imagine his hair when he takes it off."
Bro, it's probably ridiculous, dude.
Perfectly fitted.
I have a migraine looking at that. So, so do something about that. My poor dad, the other night, he was like, "Oh, cool. Can I try your green light hat on?" And it literally, he couldn't even stop. He couldn't even like fucking button it.
Sorry.
I'm like, bro,
as a fellow probably 8+ the green light hats. It just,
that poor guy. He was trying to make it work too. He was like,
guys.
He was like, oh, this is nice.
Got to wear it without you got to unbutton it all.
Yeah.
My anti-bevel, sticking with the Eagles game, was the Eagles Broncos in their modern day uniforms. Such a wasted opportunity here. Could have had Kelly Green Orange Crush meeting.
It would have
taken
the
It would have taken the bevel from Seattle.
Dude, and we could have had back-to-back amazing uniforms, back-to-back to back.
Yep.
3, but
anti-bevel, got to do it. Tampa Bay versus the Seahawks. I'm over the throwbacks, guys. I'm over those throwbacks, guys. I'm just over them. What year is it for the NFL? We need new throwbacks. We need new colors. Bring the fucking color rush back. Yo, the creamsicles are there. It's over.
Jail, dude. You're going to jail,
bro. It's over.
Dude, if I had a tomato, I'd throw it at you.
Whatever. You guys.
I'm gonna implicate you in a crime.
Hey, man, it's not a crime.
Right there.
I just feel like we should start planning for new throwbacks. Like,
Todd Bowles
always have to be.
This is my Bevel Conway though. Todd Bowles going. I'm going full fucking creamsicle.
That's a lot of orange
I'm putting on all the creamsicle, dude.
Full creamsicle
And a turtleneck. I love this motherfucker, Todd Bowles, dude. He is so gangster.
People don't know that he's a troll. Did you see the shit he said about Payne Durham?
Yes.
I think it was last week.
No, what'd he say?
He said we're lovers.
Oh yeah, I saw that thing.
What's up with the relationship with you and Payne? And he's like, deadpan. He's like, oh, people don't know. Me and Payne are secret lovers. It's quiet in the media room for like 5 seconds, and then one person starts laughing, and everyone starts laughing.
So he's cool as shit, huh, Bo?
He's great, man. He just hates the media. He's a great dude. He's good, like in the locker room, funny as fuck. Would come in and like be, sometimes a head coach walks through the locker room and it gets real quiet,
Yeah.
Not like that. Like he was a player, you know what I mean? So he'll come in, fuck around with the guys. Like he's a great dude. I fucking love Todd.
That's awesome. Well, Bevel Conway,
best seat.
Nate,
hold on, motherfuckers. Let me hit my anti-bevel.
Hand up,
right?
hand up.
Over here.
You've had the floor.
Conway is there's a photo of Carson and Dylan Gabriel after the game in London, and it's
oh my god.
What is it? Let me see.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let me see it.
So good. Like it looks like a little kid talking to his stepdad. It's so
because he looks so little.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude!
Unbelievable. Great call.
Is that like the Browns logo?
My jaw was on the floor.
Is that the Browns logo, dude?
Yeah, that's the elf, dude.
I mean, honestly, dude, that's
how tall is Wentz?
Exact 6'5"?
No,
whatever. Like 6'4", 6'5". That ballpark.
He ain't taller.
I give him 6'5".
That's 8.
Listed as 6'5".
Yep, man. How about they got him in the Wikipedia with that Ronald McDonald ass fit, dude? Look at that shit. I would sue Wikipedia, bro. I would sue my former self for putting
that's worse
that on.
than Mac Jones' pregame outfit, dude.
I think that's what he wore when he went to Washington.
To the Commanders.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I'm the new quarterback in town. No, but I love Carson, so I'm super hyped. What'd you say?
That's a great call, Bo.
What'd he say?
That was just an unbelievable.
I think you said something about a hamburger. What did you say? The hamburger?
Hamburglar. Yeah.
There's the hamburglar.
Yeah.
Hamburger.
Carson's got some tough pregame looks. I'm not gonna lie.
Best seat.
He wore like a detective hat one time.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm trying to figure out how to throw it over a zone. Can anybody give me a hot tip? Yesterday, they said on the broadcast, they were like, Carson said that like over the past couple of years, he learned how to throw over zones. I was like, bro, he almost won the MVP and he didn't know how to throw over zones.
Yeah, he had
like,
to play
this
some
guy is the greatest quarterback of all time. What were we gonna say? Yeah. What's the next thing?
Best seat.
Oh, best seat. Well, my projector. Where I was Saturday night, I got this inflatable projector. I put it in the backyard and I watched games. I put my little solo stove there, and I put this projector up there. Obviously, my wife helps me because I'm technologically not as inclined. And you see the fog kind of setting in. It's early fall in Virginia. I chased the fuck out of a bad debt I had from Thursday night with a Duke Cal bet. I bet Duke, the Duke Blue Devils. I went to sleep. They were down 14-0. They won by 4 scores. So
amazing.
That's the best seat for me. And the other best seat I want to give out is the lady who or the guy who caught the Josh Allen ball. and the funniest thing is like it was like a Goodfellas situation. The wife was like, just go. I'll meet you at the drop. Bro, it was like, and I love you. And like he took the ball, which has a chip in it, and like ran it out into the parking lot, I suppose. But like what he doesn't realize is that Mike Tirico's like diming him out in front of the world. Like he got more airtime than like Josh Palmer.
For sure.
Yep.
By the way, Josh Palmer, why the fuck did you catch that ball, bro? Like I am obsessed with the end of game execution from teams. Oh, don't even get me started.
But my thing is, what are you going to do with that ball? Do you think it's worth a whole bunch of money, or do you just want the ball?
It's a Bills fan.
But also, is it worth it? Exactly.
Hey.
Is it worth it to like if that's your season tickets or your seats for them like to be petty and be like, you took this ball and now like you can't come back to NFL games?
I mean, good luck finding me. I don't know.
Like you said, he's on TV. Like someone, they probably know like the people who are walking in. They
he
could
have
find
said I had to take a shit. I lost the ball. I was gonna bring it to you. Hey, somebody in the chat asked us to weigh in on Jalen Hurts' hat for anti-bevel. Have you seen the hat? The fit.
It's
I didn't hate it. I'm a hater and I didn't hate it.
Dude, here's the deal. You got to be pretty fucking cool and good looking to be like, you know what? Let me throw that Tesla hat on.
You know. Free Huey Newton.
Chef Boyardee looking ass.
Bro, but he still pulls it off because he's so cool.
The person in the chat said the internet said he looked like the enchanted chocolatier.
Did he walk in with this hat on? Did he walk to the game, or do you think he has like? Do you think he has different outfits for if they lose or when they win?
No, I think I think this is the fit.
No,
dude.
because he would have not worn that.
He looks cool, bro. You know what? I wouldn't look so cool. I wouldn't look so cool.
You don't know until you try it, Chris.
Best seat. My best seat is going to Cardi B, watching her new baby daddy light it up against his old team, Stephon Diggs. Like I just feel like for the first time in a while, a guy with Stephon Diggs that has a lot of stuff going on off the field and whatnot. I just feel like the people doing the game last night did a great job. I feel like it was all positive kind of media on Stephon Diggs throughout the whole show.
Yeah, but let's not act like it was the Tyreek situation.
No.
Like, you know when they burnt Tyreek?
No, but he has a lot of stuff. But he has stuff that they could have chose.
Imagine Mike Tirico being like, what do you think that was, Chris? Molly?
Bro, guys do it. I think so.
No, what do you think? I mean, like, I don't know. Hey, look at him over here. He's got the pink stuff, and you crush it up, and he's like, and they're on a boat.
Maybe that pink stuff helped that injury heal faster. Yeah, he looks great out there, and I just think that probably was the best seat watching a man on Monday Night Football, hear him get all this good press, and on top of it, playing a real game.
One last time, there'll be no Stephon Diggs slander on this show. I really love the guy. He every time, like I said, I know this is a super like selfish way to look at things, but like every time I met him, he's so cool. Like, and to me, like as a Maryland Terrapin, and I hate those guys, he's pretty fucking cool.
Well, the reason why you can say it too is just that you don't have a sister. So like,
well, yeah, I don't have a sister. You're right. So it's just kind of like I'm safe that way, I guess.
And let me be clear, you're the runaway favorite.
Yeah. Best seat.
Here.
Yeah.
Kill a Trav, all right? Imagine that you are Travis Kelce. You've got an awesome podcast, you have a superstar fiance who announces her highly publicized new album on your podcast. And it releases on Friday, and there's a song called Wood. And this song is about your giant dick.
I don't believe it.
I swear to God, this is a direct quote from the song. Chris, I know you haven't listened to Life of a Showgirl like I have. His love, Redwood Tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. Yes. I hope you have a great Monday Night Football game tonight, Trav. And best seat. It's pretty cool. Everyone knows. Everyone now knows that you're packing a hog. It's awesome.
I don't believe it.
I mean,
listen to it. Put it on right now. Someone in the chat back
isn't size subjective?
But I'm not even gonna get into it. But it's so easy to just write a nice song about,
Hey, I mean, great seat.
Look up the lyrics. Listen to the song. It's a great place to be at when your fiance, who's a pop superstar, is bragging about you.
Watch the music video,
bro.
Cardi B didn't write a song about Stephon Diggs would. All right, I'm just saying.
The curse on me was broken by your magic wand.
Yeah. No, she just goes on podcasts.
She said new heights of manhood in the
new heights
of
manhood.
Podcast
I ain't got
that's incredible. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Just Beau, come on.
Worst seat.
Come on, Beau.
We're live, and you guys won't even give me anything to work with.
Well, because there's so much to say on this topic, but he's just,
Worst seat. Nate, worst seat.
Harbaugh family. Both of the brothers lost. So if you're fans, if you're family, you're watching over the past couple of years, it's like if one brother lost, like, oh, the other brother's gonna win. Like, we'll get a win this week, and then the Ravens get thumped, and then the Chargers they start off up 10-0, and then they lose 27-10.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
I'm gonna go Jets fans because they spent their hard-earned money on Jets tickets only to be flipped off by a billionaire, like
Jerry Jones himself.
Like he's some sort of a Gotham City villain, dude. Like he was just like, "Fuck you!" Like Bud Adams reincarnated, bro.
He was like, make sure you knew to you,
bro. But you know what? If I were 90-something years old, I might flip people off in public.
I just said this in the group chat. Like,
I'm not excusing it.
Look, after a certain age, I just said it in the group chat. After a certain age, you're allowed to be a little petty, right? Like, once you get
after
like 70, 75?
The things that we let people get away with at older ages, like, come on.
You
like
should be.
A middle finger ain't that bad, honestly.
Nah.
But that was pretty wild. He just went full bird. It was crazy.
Eminem style. Eminem was probably.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Beau Dog, worst seat.
Worst seat. All right. So we all know that the Panthers beat the Dolphins 27-24 on Sunday, an absolute barn burner. Worst seat is the fans, the Carolina and Miami fans who were seating next to each other, trading off, putting brown paper bags over their heads to watch this game. Whichever person had the possession or whichever team had the possession, they just swap it out. That's hilarious. I love the camaraderie, but that's a bad place to be when both these teams are ass.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, everybody's getting along. We're all ass together. It's so rare to see like two fan bases being chill about something or two people online being chill about something. I think there's a lot of hope in that interaction there.
Look at that. Fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall. What's the NFL doing talking about the wires? You got a wire issue.
Ooh.
You got a big wire issue. Like, that's something that like flew under the radar yesterday, and I couldn't believe they actually brought it up on Sunday Night Football and that sort of thing, because like it's a bad look for the league. But like, if the game had not gone over in London, Will Reichert's field goal hit the fucking wire, the TV wire, dude. Yeah. And that's an NFL Network broadcast, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Like, this is a bad deal. Can you run that back in slow motion? We're pretty sure it hit, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're sure it hit. Mm-hmm. I'm shocked that Will Reichert wasn't like, hey, did you see that shit? He just thought he missed it. Isn't it bad when you're like, damn, dude, I'm bad enough that I thought that was possible, that my ball would do that? But no, it was the wire. And then we had another issue with the wire in another game. 2-in-1 game. Or 2-in-1
Cowboys. Are you talking about the Cowboys? Jets
yeah. Justin Fields hit a guy in the head hard enough with a football that the ball bounced up and hit a wire. Hit a camera.
Hit the sky cam directly
in the lens.
It drilled the sky cam directly.
You know how live your arm has to be? I think this kid could be something. This Justin Fields guy, he's got a live arm.
I think they officiated this wrong.
Hit Dante
Mike
Fowler
Florio was talking about on NBC. I think Mike Florio was saying this is supposed to just be a no play when this happens, but they just ruled it incomplete. I think.
Double whammy, which means hey, the Jets could have won this game. It's 0-0.
Being off the heat.
That's crazy. Jerry Jones is up to his bullshit again. You got to watch out, man. The NFL's got to figure that out. That's a bad deal. Because, honestly, how did that game end? Did that game go over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying? One of these weeks, if a ball hits a wire, it could be billions of dollars.
Big deal.
You know?
My fly on the wall is going to DeVonta Smith in the locker room showing A.J. Brown the replay of the Hail Mary being bro, I had this. What are you doing right here?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he gives a good quote. Maybe he just says, no, you didn't. But I just wonder. That's my fly on the wall.
We're about to. My God, man, the chat really wants us to talk about it, Beau.
No.
I don't want to
I got
either.
a fly on the wall. You took my wire one, but I'm thinking of another one real quick.
He said
my
no.
fly on the wall would be the pregame meal before Thursday night football, or in the afternoon when you are, you're just eating your pregame meal. All of a sudden, Mac Jones comes in, pale as a ghost. I just saw a dead body.
Dog.
Oh my gosh.
That was the craziest fucking headline.
Yeah.
It was an Athletic article, and it was the first paragraph, and I think Rossini or somebody tweeted it, and it was Mark, or what the fuck is his name? Mac Jones woke up in Marina Del Rey. He rubbed his eyes, walked to his balcony, and opened the door overlooking the water. There floated a dead body. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. That morning at the team hotel in Marina Del Rey, Jones told teammates he was on his balcony when he looked at the water and saw a floating dead body.
So look.
You talk about a bad omen. I give him credit for even going out there.
Dog, that's what does that mean for our team tonight?
Is that why he wore what he wore? Did he have to be a little, in the yeah.
I don't know, bro. No, he packed that outfit.
No,
he
but I
packed
think
that
it's funny.
outfit.
Not to say that he was doing this, but for some guys who definitely do, I just couldn't imagine if before the night game, you're on the balcony, you're having your maybe a little pregame smoke, a little J or a little blunt out there with a few teammates, and you're smoking, passing it back, and you guys are looking off in the distance.
Or the game?
And then being in the morning before a night game.
Yeah. Or
why are you saying it like that?
before.
Guys smoke all the time. And just looking out there.
Okay, Mike Tirico, jeez.
Just looking out there and being hey, is that a dead body? Or
Bro, that'd be wild. That'd be wild.
And then go into your team. Imagine imagine you going to Dom and be like, Dom, I think I see a dead body. He'd be like, Long, chill out.
Yeah, no, seriously.
For the game, bro.
That's the craziest shit. It's just so hard to imagine. And also what that would do to you. The rest of the day, I don't know.
Floater.
You gotta have a short-term memory.
And then they said while they're getting on the bus, all the corners and all the people are pulling up, with all the yellow tape and doing all that stuff.
That's wild, dude.
I just I just probably would just be thinking about it nonstop.
Hollow man or woman.
I mean, everyone has the same one, right? Or no? DeMarcado.
We all know this one, right?
It's obviously we got to talk about it. It's DeMarcado, yeah.
Got to give it to him.
I got a different one.
No, we all know what. I mean,
we can talk about it, Chris, but I just like to can we not fuck around with.
I'm not gonna fuck around about it. I don't want to fuck around about it. Huh? Oh yeah, let's not fuck around about it. Obviously, we know Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez has been on this show.
Why do you say facts?
Well, because I don't know. You guys have a thing together right now. I don't know. You guys
I don't even know what's going on.
I just want to be.
Well, the whole chat wants us to bring up the Mark Sanchez thing and it is probably the right thing to do. If it was anybody else, I'd talk about it. It's a guy that we know. Yeah. It's an awful thing. I mean, and he he did the thing. He did the thing. I mean, from everything I know, he did the thing, and his life's going to change forever now. And I think it's a good lesson to people, like, and I'll say this before I get doing this, and it's not like me and Mark are best friends, but like the guy lived with my brother in the pros for a minute. Like, I've always enjoyed Mark. You know, Beau knows Mark well, and he's a happy person. He loves people, and like, there's no justifying what he did at all, and he will pay for it. Like, trust that. Like, he's going to pay for it. But before we say it, like, whenever he's done dealing with what he's dealing with, I will be Mark's friend.
Yeah.
It's an awful thing that he did. It's a terrible thing that he did. But I think hopefully it's the thing in his life that however long it takes, like, he'll get his life right, because your life's not right if you don't remember something like that going down. Like, and if you're out there doing that, like, things are not right in your life. And so thank God the other guy's okay, because that guy's the victim, right? Mark's not really the victim. Mark is the victim of his own doing. And I will be Mark's friend again. And I texted Mark to say, hey, you know, like, call me if you need to talk, you know, and I just, so I know this is a weird thing and you're supposed to just like sell everybody down the river when they do the terrible thing. And that was an awful thing. I don't know anybody else who's done that. It's not like something you can say, we've all been there, you know, like we haven't all been there, but hopefully it's something that he's got a lot of life left to live. It's going to play out totally differently than it would if this hadn't happened, if he hadn't done this. But I'm not going to do the thing where I'm like, I'm never going to talk to Mark again. You know, because Mark's a person and he made a terrible mistake. And it's a lesson to people that, like, you go out and get too fucked up and God knows what, and your life can change in an instant. Your life can change in an instant by doing something really stupid and not having control over yourself. So, like, you know, I don't know what to say about it other than, you know, it shook me up because when I first heard the thing, I was like, damn, Mark got stabbed. Holy shit. Like, he got either jumped or robbed or something, which according to half the country, it's the first time that would ever happen in a city. Like, that was everybody's first reaction, which I think is despicable. That Dan Dakich guy is a piece of shit and his whole family should be fucking embarrassed. Fuck that guy. Seriously. And he's got kids that coach and do other things. He's a fucking pussy. Okay. And people like him are all pieces of shit. But I was shook up over the Mark thing, and it was like, as the story unfolded, I was like, this couldn't be, like, really? Like, I texted Dom to be like, what's happening? And I actually have a text to Dom that says, like, Mark wouldn't really start something, like, so I don't really understand what happened. And then when you hear about what happened, you're like, damn, he must be down bad. Like, there must be some shit going on with him that, like, nobody knows about. And so I'll just say that. As the host of the show, I know we got to bring it up. I don't know how else to talk about it other than, like, I love the guy. I always loved the guy. He made the worst mistake of his life, and he will pay for it. He will pay for it, and his life will never be the same. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, bro. That's the lesson, is like, you can't just go out like that. You can't be acting like that, because that's another thing is, like, people got nothing to lose and they want to defend themselves. You know, like you fuck with the wrong person, they will cut you. And you shouldn't be climbing in people's delivery trucks or whatever the fuck it was, man. So, not to end the show on a downer, but I don't want to be the guy that shies away from something because I know a guy, you know? Beau, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, you said it well, man. I don't really have much to add. It's hard when the whole saga is wild. You kind of mentioned it. At first, you're concerned, not really knowing everything going on, texting your buddies, trying to get information. And then as it unfolds more and more, you're concerned. You're still concerned, but, you know, for a very different reason. So, I mean, I don't have a ton to add, Chris. It's a fucked up situation. You know, obviously tough night, tough situation for Mark. Like you said, he will pay for it. He is physically already. It sounds like, you know, he's mostly going to be all right. But, you know, all the information we have now is saying that he's the aggressor and yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, it's hard when you play these guys, you play with guys, you become friends with them, and things like this happen. It's a tough pill to swallow, and it's a hard thing to talk about publicly. So I think you did a great job there.
Yeah, and the reason we're not clowning on him is because like somebody got stabbed, the other guy's in the hospital really fucked up. If it was just Mark that got stabbed and he's perfectly fine, we might clown on Mark, even with everything that he has going on in his life. But like there was a 69-year-old man and I saw the picture of him and he was totally fucked up. And so, you know, but the people that jumped on it and were like talking about, well, you know, this is dangerous in cities and you know, whatever
it's frustrating to see a situation like that and people spin it for their own benefit. Exactly. And it's like, can we just
fuck everybody like him?
Yes. Can we move on?
Yeah, absolutely. How do we finish? By waving
STL
goodbye.
Memorial. I can
STL Memorial
if you want.
Yeah.
This is not football related, Chris.
Do you have like a drip king that you can land this plane with?
I got a good viral.
Well, I have an STL Memorial. I want to give a shout out to a couple of esteemed members of our crew. Your boy BA, Cowboy Reed, Charlie, and Ralph. If we're looking a little cheeked up, it's because we're doing Squatober, Chris. So my STL Memorial Award goes to Charlie for his front squat depth today on Squatober. Check this shit out. Look at that. That's good shit. The boys have been videoing themselves. We've been doing some techniques.
Is that your ass?
Some coaching techniques.
Charlie's ass.
Was Charlie's ass?
Charlie's ass.
Nice, Charlie.
Look at that
Good
depth. High elbow.
Damn, I thought you were Beau.
Dump truck.
Charlie.
Boy, dumb
that's a
thing.
compliment. Dummy thing.
Oh
That's
my
STL
God.
Memorial winner, because he's not the kind of guy that's going to talk about squatting every day like me and post it, his ego lifts on his Instagram. You know, he's out here, no viewers. That's the true, the true heart of STL Memorial. We get some love.
Bro, can I say one more thing? And we are going to end the show. And you don't have to stand by this, Beau. But since we've already talked about the Mark thing, for a period of like 3 or 4 hours, I was pretty sure like Stephen Miller was going to get up there and scramble like fighter jets to Indianapolis over our friend. I was like, this is going to be crazy, dude. Like they're going to be like tanks in Indy because Mark got stabbed. And then it turned out he was the
And it's just so interesting to see how fast those tweets are deleted and everything is walked back as new information comes available.
Oh, because it doesn't matter what you say anymore. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can do, none of it has to be true. Wonder why that happened. All right, y'all. We will see you. We will see you real soon.
Duval!
What do we think happens tonight?
What do you think?
I really, and this is no disrespect to your very fine football team that I misjudged preseason, but I think Kansas City wins this game.
Liam Cohen is ready to battle with the big boys. Him versus Andy Reid. I expect a good game, but Jacksonville Jaguars will win. The Kansas City Chiefs, they can't stop a nosebleed on the ground. Travis Etienne is playing great. Tootin is playing great. Our run offense is doing good right now, and I just feel like this is the night we're going to put everyone on notice. Jacksonville is going to look amazing. That pool is going to look lit. That stadium is going to look electric.
It is going to look great. It might be a Bevel Conway, but what if Spags gets Lawrence to throw in some traps tonight?
I like you said today, they're hoping on Devin Lloyd having an off game. I think Devin Lloyd is going to put the entire league on notice. Casual fans who just watched Monday night because it's the only game on tonight, you are going to leave tonight being like, that 0 on
Pay that man. Pay that man.
He is good. And I can't wait.
Hey, we love everybody. Have a great afternoon, and hope you win your Monday night bet. Bet the Chiefs. Take care.